Yes, this is basic geometry. Your flat Earth geometry. Flat Earth geometry. This is basic geometry.
It is.
I called you a flat earther.
My name's Ramsey.
Insisting that your flat Earth geometry will work.
I'm familiar with the bubble, Morty. I also dabble in precision, and if you think you can even approach it with your sad naked caveman eyeball in a bubble of air, you're the reason this species is a failure, and it makes me angry.
Did he say a five-sided square question mark?
You're a universal horizontal waterer.
You're drunk.
I called you a flat earther.
You want to experience true level? Do you? Yes. You want to experience true level?
That auto level is establishing a horizontal. That's just the way it is.
Because I've done the test with an auto level, which gives you a horizontal.
Yeah, it's gonna look super flat.
All right, come on. Wow, it's so.
Three coplanar points.
Oh Christ! Yeah, true level, bitch.
I called you a flat earther.
If you're into math, there's a certain shape where you could make a five-sided square.
Are you suggesting that horizontal can't curve?
Everything's crooked. Reality is poison. I want to go back. I hate this.
What's his deal?
Morty. Go to school, Summer. I'll go in Morty's memory and do a little.
Ranty, come on, that's a globe. He eventually just gave up and said, yeah, I agree, it's a globe.
Geodesic is a continuous string of infinitely small, straight lines.
Yeah, true level, bitch.
It's pretty flat and level now.
Ranty, come on, that's a globe.
Yeah, true level, bitch.
Ranty, come on, that's a globe.
Lance to the cosmic slaughter! Well, you seem to be in charge of what I get to remember. Why? Good question.
Ranty, come on, that's a globe.
I'll go in Morty's memory and do a little. Wow, it's so. Oh my god! Oh Christ! Yeah, true level, bitch.
If you're into math, there's a certain shape where you could make a five-sided square.
Ranty, come on, that's a globe.
Yeah, true level, bitch. Wow, it's so. Oh my god! Oh Christ! Yeah, true level, bitch.
I called you a flat earther.
True level, bitch.
I called you a flat earther.
True level, bitch.
I called you a flat earther.
Yeah, true level, bitch.
Person to think.
When you get to the end of this test and you have a result and you say level is horizontal and everyone says big whoop, that doesn't prove anything about the shape of the earth, will you then say yes it does?
No.
No. Okay, I'm going to bed. Right.
Okay, so
I'm going to bed.
That level is horizontal is good for you then, right?
I agree. I agree. Level's horizontal. All
Sweet.
Right,
true level, bitch.
Perfect.
Wow.
Nice, mate. I came
Nice.
in just for that. You flipped it, man.
Yeah, true level, bitch.
And we are live. Welcome everybody. It is Thursday night, Euclid night, and a public service announcement from the farmer's boy. He wants you to try thinking what it would be like inside Bev Try Thinking's head. How long do you want? A minute? Couple of seconds. Just have a think. It's easy for me. I can do it. Farmer's Boy wants you to imagine what it's like inside my head. Because I bet I'm in his head all the time. How many other people am I in their head? You got me in your head all the time like Farmer's Boy? He's good at promoting us. So thank you very much for Farmer's Boy there. A bit of promotion he's been doing for us on around Twitter. Right. Here we go. I'm going to go back to over these things. I've got a video, maybe or two, that I want to go over tonight. But first of all, you guys in Discord, I'm going to go over some of the stuff I put in the agents. Following on from, I think that was radar waves. Let's go after this. We shouldn't be seeing that. That's secret stuff, that. You're gonna come into Discord for that. Is that okay for you guys? Can you see that? This is, again, I've been talking to the Canadian mathematics teacher. If you're listening, Casey, we're going over this yet again. Probably doing it quite a lot. We're talking about, you know, the guy that may or may not live in Maine. Probably doesn't live in Maine, to be honest. Knowing about, you know, the lie-in stakes, I'd say probably not. So we're talking about that. And Casey says, Bev, I have his registration number for 3 states. I know he's legitimate. So they've got a registration number for a license. I know he's legitimate. Ever stop to think that you don't have a surveying license? So you are the one that doesn't know what you're talking about. Well, we are talking about basic stuff, and it is just an auto level. And we are the ones that have actually shown people what it looks like through it. And that's all we've ever claimed, to show people stuff. And then I say, have you ever actually seen his video? He's obviously not a surveyor. He's a joke and an embarrassment. That's why he's no longer around. That's the guy. Everybody knows who he is. And he isn't around anymore. And then I show 3 pictures there to show that when he set his auto level up next to his theodolite, he messed it up badly. At least one of them wasn't set up level. At least one. That's the best we could say, but possibly the best. I've taken everybody through the videos, but once I start this properly, I will be doing these more narrowed down videos. So, you know, I'll be doing a going over this guy because I think this is bad. And then Farmer's Boy, the one that wants everybody to imagine what it's like inside my head. He says, and you accuse people of slander and libel. Projection much. We all know he's no longer around, and he's not the joke and embarrassment. That's the guy that probably doesn't live in Maine. That used to pretend to be a YouTube character. He was role-playing a surveyor, I think, on YouTube. He's no longer around anymore. Casey was the one that used to do all of his graphics. Casey says, the Maine surveyor demonstrated it in reality. Mathematically, you can't prove a definition or word use. Casey's thinking that the Maine surveyor proved that horizontal and vertical aren't perpendicular. bit of a weird claim, but I said we went over his joke of a video and we all saw that he's definitely not a surveyor. I think everybody here agreed. By the way, he couldn't set his tills up. The whole plumb line claim from him has been completely debunked by his incompetence. I'll be doing specific analysis soon, which I will. And then a guy called Robert Baker, at Dr. Bob 58, says libel. He's calling that libel. You were so concerned about it just recently, but here you are lying, hoping to harm a licensed surveyor's reputation. This is a guy that's claimed that he's measured plumb lines not being parallel over a distance that it's impossible to do, because we've shown that, cited it. But this guy at Dr. Bob says this is libel for you pointing out obvious fuck-ups in people's videos. They're on YouTube. But this group of people tend to think that they can just go around pointing fingers at people and saying liar without actually saying what the liar is. He says, you probably don't have much, but maybe the main surveyor could use a 4K home security gaming computer. I don't know whether he could or not. I don't know. He's not around. Nobody can ask him anything. He's gone. Dr. Bob. At Dr. Bob. Robert Baker. If you're listening, yeah, the main surveyor, that YouTube character has gone. It's no more. He's probably doing something else. Acting some other role. I say to this Dr. Bob, pointing out the incompetence of a claimed impossibility is not libel. If you'd like to discuss any of the claims made by the incompetent YouTube characters, join us here in the Discord. That goes for anybody else. If anybody else is out there, would like to discuss any incompetent YouTube characters. And Robert Baker, Dr. Bob, says, I'd love to see you defend your lies in court. So if Dr. Bob, Robert Baker, don't know who he is, just could be any old random Dr. Bob. You want to start up the court proceedings? As long as you let me know what the lies are, we'll see what we can do. And then this is Dr. Bob again. Says, you attempted to dock someone yesterday in Discord. It was reported and removed. Do you ever set aside days where you decide not to lie, or do you simply do it every day? He said, I attempted to dock someone yesterday. Right now, this is a pretty serious thing. And it may be like a public service announcement to let you know that what Dr. Bob, at Dr. Bob on Twitter, Robert Baker, is doing is, see that Robert Baker name? Right now, there is a Discord server that if you go into the Discord server and mention that name, if there's somebody in that Discord server with that name, maybe going by, let's say, another thingy, like, let's say Bob the Science Guy, right? Let's say there's a guy in there, in this Discord server called Bob the Science Guy, and you go in there and say, hey, Robert Baker said something to me. Well, they can call you a doxer because of that in this particular Discord server. So really, you've got to be really careful which names you're using from what platform to the other platform. Like, we don't do that here in this Discord server. But there are Discord servers out there that do this sort of thing. And people like this Robert Baker, Dr. Bob, goes round other places telling everybody that you've attempted doxing people. Now, it's pretty bad. I know it's a bad claim for anybody to say that you're doxing people, but there are Discord servers that, I don't know, capitulate to this snowflake behaviour. And see, because the only people that do this are the ones that want to label people as doxers. They're not actually getting doxed or anything like that. They just want to label people, namely me, as a doxer, which I'm not interested. I don't give a shit about anybody's names, where they live, anything like that. It's the last thing I'm bothered about. Like I keep saying, if you want to come in and have a conversation, that's fair enough. I'll talk to anyone. I think it's been well enough documented that that's what I'll do. I'll talk to anyone. Don't care. Even if you're messed up mentally, I'll still talk to you. It doesn't matter. Crazy people. So I say I did not. Someone made that up because a name was mentioned. Hashtag not doxing. To which Robert Baker at Dr. Bob 58 says lying about lying. SMH. I don't know what H that is. Smacking my homo. I don't know. It's a lovely community that we live in around here. You know, when you go around and talk to people on Discord servers and then end up finding out that you're a doxer for using a name on that you got from a different platform. There's Kenny. This is the guy that is most likely to be suspended for hateful conduct. He might have deleted his tweets, so he was allowed back on Twitter. Says, why don't you do a special on you? Go rent a theodolite, show us how to set it up, demonstrate its proper use, show us how you do calculations and record data, and verify your measurements are accurate. Main surveyor is licensed. He has proven his competence. Not to me. Definitely not to me. And I don't know whether he did to anybody else here. Kenny likes him. He's proved... the guy that probably isn't from Maine has proved his competence to Kenny. It might have been the way he wrote down the numbers in his book in pencil. Casey says, you're a joke and an embarrassment, Bev. But you don't leave. It's so obvious that you're jealous of anyone who doesn't have a profession. It's so obvious that you're jealous of anyone who actually has a profession. Why don't you go back to school and actually earn a qualification instead of just wishing you had? This is a Canadian mathematics teacher that I'm in conversation with about geometry and, you know, new mathematics, the way new mathematics is taught.
As a Canadian, I'd like to say I disavow myself from any comments from this woman.
Well, it's teacher, right? They're the ones teaching your kids. Yeah. I don't care what you think. This is how they are going to teach your kids. You know, you don't care. They know way better than you. Especially if you're a parent as well. I mean, they'll just talk down to you. I say the surface we are standing on is real. We describe this reality with Euclidean geometry. And the measurements are taken using Euclidean straight lines. Quite honestly, I find it amazing that I have to say that to a acclaimed mathematics teacher. And KC says, we only describe it with Euclidean geometry over short distances. Over long distances, Euclidean geometry falls apart. Euclidean straight lines exist in the space above the non-Euclidean surface. So, welcome to... I don't know. I can't even imagine what he's talking about. This is a claim to be mathematics school teacher that thinks over long distances, Euclidean geometry falls apart. Euclidean straight lines exist in the space above a non-Euclidean surface. Work that
She's
out.
a teacher, an actual teacher?
Claims to be, yeah. Yeah, he's got mathematics. He's been to university and got a mathematics degree, and he now teaches high school students.
Wow, that's astonishing.
I wouldn't employ her. Never.
Well, you know, it's mathematics. Even Jero says she's incompetent.
Yes, incompetent. Completely.
Here we go. This is where she says it. Like I said, Bev, you're basic. I teach kids in high school. Circles are a plane figure, in inverted commas, that was me that said that, is a kindergarten lesson. When you get older, you need a more detailed understanding of mathematics. A circle is the one-dimensional figure that lies in a plane. It's the edge of a disc and is the set of points that satisfies the equation x squared plus y squared equals r squared. If you introduce a set of Cartesian axes with the origin at the circle's centre, the area it encloses can be calculated using A equals pi r squared. If any of my friends from KC account want to give this a follow, I'll start building up my following list over here. I was going to use this account for non-flirty things, but Bev here made me ruin it. I don't know why. She's suddenly converted to flat earth. I don't know. Well, yeah, what do you think about that? The circle's changed, you know. Do you guys know this? Do you know when it changed? Because she said it's just, you know, like a 2D circle that's kindergarten shit. Anyone? Does anyone else know about that? Did they hear about it? Maybe we're a bit too old for it.
Yes, for kindergarten, yes, maybe.
No, I mean for a circle. A circle's 1D. Did you not know that? No, it's only the ring around the outside. What used to be called the circumference. That is now the circle. And the old circle, the 2D one, is called the disc. And the circle is just the edge of the disc. Were you up to date on this new mathematics?
For me, disc is three-dimensional still.
Yeah, not in new mathematics, apparently.
So back to all surfaces are 2D in a different way.
Yeah, all surfaces have to be 2D, yeah. Non-Euclidean.
Wow, way to go, teacher. Way to go.
Except planar. Yeah, planar surfaces aren't non-Euclidean. But, I don't know, they may only exist over the top of the non-Euclidean. It's tricky to know. All horizontals measured in that one location, horizontal and vertical, are local measurements, not universal measurements. Okay?
So what? Yes.
Well, I say horizontal and vertical are not measurements. They are universal orientations.
Yes.
Hot mic, spot on.
I said references.
Yeah. reference frames or whatever. You don't measure them. You measure within them, but you don't measure them. They're there. You have to find them, establish them. Not measurements. To which Albert Paradine comes along and says, every point on the Earth has a slightly different vertical and horizontal. There is no universal orientations. So, horizontal and vertical aren't universal anymore. They are slightly different.
Up and down, left and right.
Yeah.
That we know. Single point geometry.
They're not.
That should be in the axioms.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd call it a bit of a contradiction because horizontal and vertical are always horizontal and vertical. So I'd say that's what my definition of universal is. That they're not changing. They're always vertical and horizontal.
I haven't measured one that isn't yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, oh, this one's out a bit.
Yeah, wait a minute. What's up with me plumb bob?
Is it not perpendicular anymore? Send it in for adjustment.
I built this wall plumb, I tell you.
It was plumb when I built it.
Calibrate your plumb bob.
You
Your
don't
plumb
understand
calibration.
mathematics.
Hold on.
This is higher mathematics. You are talking about kindergarten.
You're talking about kindergarten building. Yeah. Kindergarten construction.
With Lego.
So I say to Casey, don't start with the Flat Earth Society talk. I'm not interested in joining your weird cult. I'm happy with my proof of the real globe. I was intrigued about your mathematics teacher technique concerning Euclid and the fundamentals. And then a farmer's boy comes along, Roger Peachy. This one, the farmer's boy, says the one that wants you to get inside my head and imagine you're inside my head. Just try it. He says, no, Bev's founded his own weird cult where flat earthers pretend not to be flat earthers and pretend they're clever. There isn't anyone in there like that, Ali? Is there any flat earthers that pretend not to be flat earthers around here? I mean, everyone can be honest about it, right? We don't want anybody to be pretending to be anything. Just come as you are.
I am village organist. I am not flat earther.
Yeah. Like I've always said, I'm not a flat earther. But Farmer's Boy here, I think they're recruiting. The flat earth are doing really badly at the minute. And Farmer's Boy is on a recruiting mission. He needs people to join the flat earth. I sort of feel sorry for him, but I'm not joining it. Flat Earth Society are the mental. Him and Rumpus and all of that. Can you imagine joining them at the club? They wouldn't have us anyway, would they? Okay, so, yeah, we've still gone over that. And I have... let me sort this out with you guys. Because we've got some people commenting on the YouTube. We don't often get people commenting on these on the YouTube stuff. Wally, don't need to worry about Wally. He's mental. So this one here, Casey. Hey Bev, all lines are one-dimensional, even a circle. To stay on a line, you have a unidimensional choice, forwards or backwards. All surfaces are two-dimensional. To move on a surface, you can go forwards and backwards, like a line. But now you can go side to side. To move in space, you can go forwards and backwards, side to side, or up and down. Surfaces may or may not curve in space. You can tell she's a school teacher, right? I think she's more of a kindergarten school teacher, though, judging by that. So, here we go. I reply with lines, brackets, straight. I don't know why you have to start putting that in. Are 1D. A circle is 2D, as it is on a plane and not straight. A plane is 2D. If a plane is curving, it occupies the extra dimension and will be 3D. Just my opinion. If you'd like to discuss, come and chat. That's my understanding of Euclid.
Yes, curved line. She wrote that all lines are one-dimensional, but a curved line is not dimension.
She puts even a circle. That's why I put a circle is 2D as it is on a plane and not straight. Right? It's not 1D.
So this is sophistry. She is trying to induce parallelism, that all lines are one-dimensional, which is bad phrasing, I would say, because dimension is in one direction and curved line is not in one direction. So it cannot be dimension. I'm repeating myself. But now she is inducing also that circle is a line, which is just nonsense. It is not. Well, circle is not a line.
You might be thinking of elementary, basic mathematics, because it's changed. I mean, you look on Wikipedia, these will be able to find a thing on Wikipedia. This is where Casey gets information from. This is new mathematics. And when I say new mathematics, I mean mathematics that I've never heard before, because it sounds ridiculous, but that's where we are. It's 2023. Get on board with it. Casey says a disc is 2D. A circle is just the outside edge of a disc and is 1D. And yes, it's just your opinion. Mathematical definitions are not yours to change. If you want clarification on the things, I say you can find me on Twitter. Casey?
Sorry, this is her definition, because Euclid describes that circles, that geometrical figure is bound by a line.
Yeah,
so 2D figure is bound by a line. So it cannot be, circle cannot be a circumference. So we did that with Sarugaki and flat earth maths. So we went over that before. So this is obvious that circumference is not a circle. It violates logic. Part cannot be a whole. Whole is not a part.
Here we go. This is the definitions of it here. A circle. These are the Euclid definitions of a circle. A circle is a plane figure contained by one line, which is called the circumference, and is such that all straight lines drawn from a certain point within the figure to the circumference are equal to one another. So that would state that the straight lines, all of the straight lines from one place drawn to the circumference, lie within the figure of the circle, which is a plane figure. The entire circle lies within the plane, which is 2D. Further, this point's called the centre of the circle, a diameter of the circle, which is part of the circle, a diameter of a circle, part of a circle, is a straight line drawn through the center and terminated both ways by the circumference. So the diameter is part of the circle, is a part of a circle, and is joined through the center of each side. And a radius is a radius of a circle is a straight line drawn from the center to the circumference. So the radius and the diameter are parts of the circle, obviously, and thus the circle cannot be 1D, apart from the fact that 1D is a straight line, not a curved line. This is a Canadian mathematics teacher, and I'm shocked myself. But they've got Wikipedia sightings for this sort of stuff. And along with that Wikipedia, what they have is the ability to call you stupid for not knowing this. Not that it's a knowing thing anyway, it's more of a knowing about the impossibility of it. It just goes against, it's contradictory to mathematics. I can't understand why mathematics would be allowed to do this. But I guess you've got to put contradictions in everywhere nowadays. Flip everything upside down.
I'm sorry, mathematics with contradictions is not mathematics.
Well, that's what I'd say, but hey, they'll tell you you're stupid and you're just not up to date. That's old mathematics that you're thinking of there, not this new stuff. I guess if you're allowed to be role-playing a mathematics teacher, then you might be able to get away with this sort of stuff. KC, Stefan Mudd comes along and says, oh, but Bev tries to change mathematical definitions. I mean, if that isn't contradictory or what, I don't know. KC's just put a circle as 1D and changed the circle that was 2D into a disc. If that's not changing mathematical definitions, I don't know what is. And I don't know which mathematical definitions I've changed, because I always read out of Euclid. Not changed.
He's just projecting. Normal tactic.
Yeah, but to point out again, though, it's got to be documented that these people that are going round will be going round telling anybody this sort of stupid shit. And saying, well, you're a science denier, mathematics denier. I say, I know what modern mathematics states, and I know what's changed from the first principles. The whole reason Globgic was made was to incorporate the old proofs into this new mathematics. I'm interested in the metaphysics and how the mind can deal with the contradictions introduced by the modern way of thinking. I think you've tried to explain your mathematical thoughts led by the modern blue marble science community. Casey says, you're interested in saying things are contradictions when they aren't. This isn't a modern way of thinking, Bev. Spherical and analytic geometry are hundreds of years old. If you want to talk about contradictions, how about we talk about the fact that you refer to this as modern mathematics? Then tell people the globe model is old and antiquated. How do you deal with that contradiction in your brain? Okay, I'll go first. Like I said, a circle is a two-dimensional figure. That's mathematics. So the modern mathematics would be to change that from what it was to something new, something different, a change from the fundamentals of mathematics. Now, I haven't done that. Casey has, and Casey's told me that. And the globe model is old and antiquated. It's so old that the contradictions of normal life are being noticed by just regular people like me. I'm not a mathematics genius. I've never claimed to be that, but the glaring contradictions are there.
Yes, and that's why this whole heliocentric model to which globe belongs had to be changed many times from Copernicus times, because it didn't work well. So it was improved many times, and now still is being improved because it doesn't work still. So it is full of contradictions, and it cannot be finished as perfect model because it cannot work.
Constant motion. No, it can never be perfect because it's in constant motion, constantly changing.
Yes, so from Copernicus times to nowadays, we have this nonsensical model which cannot work and never will work.
Okay. Casey says to Stefan Mudd. What does he say? Stefan Mudd. Okay. Oh, but Bev tries to change mathematical definitions, he says to Casey. And Casey replies, he sure does. He fancies himself an expert in everything, as long as he can set the rules himself. Not sure what rules. And I definitely am not an expert in anything. Ridiculous claim. But this is what Canadian maths teachers think of people that they've been talking to on Twitter. Stefan Mudd says, I know. Bev makes up his own definition of and denies mathematics as he goes along to maintain his model. The thing about Stefan Mudd is, what you have to realise is that he tells you the game plan of the trolls. So everything that comes out of these sort of trolls, you know that's what they're actually thinking, what they're doing. Like Jeff says, complete projection, but they're telling you their game, right? Some more useless comments about Wally's wanting to talk. He wants you to have a go with his rocket as well.
Yes, and verticals and so on.
Oh, wow, look at this. Stefan's done a load of copy pasta. Any two, like he's just copied it all. Any 2 points can be joined by a straight line, but not a straight line, as you think. It's a different straight line. As if that's not changing the definition. Like, we've kept it exactly the same, but what we're going to do is we're going to change what we mean by a straight line. That's fucking ridiculous. Lines. What would be a line on a sphere? In Euclidean geometry, a line segment measures the shortest distance. This is just a load of rubbish, right? That they write down. No parallel lines. Any two geodesics will intersect. So the consequences of having no parallel lines means you can't have a straight line. There's no straight lines, which is a ridiculous claim. Blue Marble, this is 2 days ago, this is on Monday. Blue Marble says, I bet you didn't know that zenith angle measurements are in fact angular measurements. Not measurements made by reading the numbers on a tail frapping stick. I don't know what tail frapping, it sounds pretty gay. I don't know. Is that some sort of hilly-billy sort of thing? I don't know.
I don't know this expression.
Tail frap. Have we got anybody here in America knows what a tail frapping stick is? Maybe some of the... Anybody go to any kink clubs or anything like that? Blue Oyster bars?
Tail or tall?
Tall frapping stick. No? Tall frapping stick?
I don't know what frapping means.
No,
so
I don't know either. I don't know. A theodolite gives you the vertical angle, bracket zenith, or its reciprocal, depending on theodolite, based on what you point the instrument at. It's a shame you never actually took a course in land surveying, even though I've got a certificate on the wall, land surveying. I don't know what Blue Marble's talking about. At least not one that covered the use of theodolite. They're amazingly accurate devices with arc-second accuracy, which are angles, in case you aren't aware. Be at peace with your horizontal affliction. There's Blue Marble. With a little praying thing there. Isn't that nice? I say, your old antiquated globe has had its day. The dogma that comes with it has been unacceptable to the modern day people. They want something that hasn't been taught from 2,500 years ago. That's even older than Euclid, and that's some real old mathematics. The real globe is the new and contradiction-free. There's no need to be troubled with fretting over having no proof of globe with the real globe. Now that I've invented Globgic with the help of the Blue Marble scientists, find epohe so that we can finally talk globe without the flat earth obsession taking over your thoughts and distracting us from the real conversations. I look forward to our future discussions about how it tis globe. Hey, Rob.
Hey, can I just jump in with some newfangled terminology that's come about this arena?
Go on.
Advanced heliocentrists.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what the FED panel are calling themselves.
Advanced heliocentrists?
Yeah.
I would say that they borrow from Beth. This is really recent, like 2 days, 1 day.
Yeah, like yesterday and today I've been here and I'm using that.
I would say that they just borrowed from this server. I suspect.
Well, advanced helios. Oh, well, I mean, like, yeah. I guess they are. I wonder whether they can solve the horizontal paradox.
Well, yeah, because they know the heliocentric model better than most heliocentrists, so they are advanced heliocentrists.
Nice. Can they solve the horizontal paradox? Surely they must know about the horizontal paradox if they're advanced heliocentrists.
That's another thing. There's no longer a need for a housekeeping question called, is there any evidence that level is not horizontal? We don't need that housekeeping question.
Good.
Anymore, because it is. You just know it is. It can't be anything else.
Axiom. Yeah, 'tis globe. Yeah, you don't need that pesky one about level, do you? Stop mentioning it, right? It's not going to work well. One question, Bev. Do different methods of measuring the shape of the Earth exist? If so, why are they all wrong? Stefan, anybody else can have a go at that. People ask me stupid questions. Stefan's one of them.
Yes, this is a stupid question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Blue Marble.
I have a question though, before you go on.
Go on.
I mean, would a normal everyday surveyor say that they're measuring the shape of the Earth? I don't know, because I'm not a surveyor.
No, I think it's been made up within this arena, the whole thing of the idea of there being a shape of the Earth and people having to state what it is. It's completely made up for this arena.
So bullshit then.
Yeah, absolute
this
bullshit.
Is
very good.
Normal sophistry. It means question with thesis inside. So.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, this Blue Marble says as well, I'll consider that a threat and report it as such. Thanks. So Blue Marble's a bit of a white knight. You know, he's he likes to report all sorts of things at the minute from all sorts of people. It doesn't matter. I think seeing as it is Women's Day, shout out to Paige. I hope Paige is still around and Blue Marble hasn't managed to report her to get her account taken off her or something. Maybe she's not allowed on YouTube or whatever, because Blue Marble Science has been reporting her for making comments in a chat that he obviously well, Blue Marble Science is one of my loyal followers. He's always here. Look, Wally says, so funny how Bev chooses to ignore me now. I do. I ignore the advances of men wanting to talk about their rockets with me. I'm not interested in other men's rockets, Wally. Is that it? Oh, look at this one. 33 replies. This is where I say to Rolly, look, I'm not into rocket videos other men have made for me, Wally. I'm just not. Not so sure they're allowed on YouTube either. Stefan Mudd wants me to talk about Wally's rocket as well. Not interested, Stefan. Not in the slightest. I say to Stefan, because he's hassling me, right, to talk to Wally's rocket video, and I say, I can't get over his no paradox bent horizontal that he did today. Was observed, he said, Wally said it was observed bent horizontal. I'll get that one in a bit. I'm still trying to wait whether else somebody will tell him. Nobody seems to be bothered telling Wally. He's got free reign for making videos for the old dogmatic load model, but he's bending horizontals. Stefan says, what bent horizontals, Bev? I'll show you in a bit. I said I meant the bent horizontal that Wally drew on his rocket meme, the one that his no paradox reality meme, the one where he drew a bent line and labelled it horizontal. And Stefan says, white knighting for Wally again, like they always do. He says, well, I think you willingly misunderstood the point. While you are responding, how do you explain Wally's rocket? Like, he just tries to slip a Wally's rocket in there. Kenny came in. How can you can't explain how something can be obscured by a surface claim is horizontal? There's a lot of this at the minute. A plane obstructing. I don't know. It's a stupid sophistry one. I say to Kenny, geometry isn't concerned about the way things look from the point of view of the observer. I'd say you should be looking at optics. Kenny says, no, I'm certain this is a geometry issue. It can't be an optical phenomenon, as radar experiences the same problem. It's called radar horizon. What would cause both your vision and radar to be blocked? Physical mass obstructing the straight line path to the object? If the surface is planar, as you claim, I've never claimed the surface to be planar. Horizontal is definitely a plane, but that's not the surface. It's not the surface of anything. Crazy people assuming all sorts of shit that I don't know. If the surface is planar, as you claim, how could physical mass obstruct both vision and radar at distance? I've not got a clue what he's talking about. It's absolutely
He's talking that radar has experiences problem. So this radar should go to the doctor because has existential problems. So
yeah, he's got a problem, and rather than going and talking to somebody else, he's coming to me. He's coming to Try Thinking YouTube comment section to solve his problems. He's expecting me, Bev Try Thinking, to help him out, and he's incoherent. I can't even understand what he's talking about, and I keep saying, look, I'm sorry, I can't help you with this. Go and talk to somebody else.
Maybe he was flattering you.
Yeah. I say, I don't think it's geometry that changes due to your observation. Who else are you inquiring about this trouble of yours? Have you asked anyone else? Have you any mathematical proof to back your thoughts on the matter? To which he says, I'm not suggesting geometry is changing. I'm suggesting it's not a planar surface. If the surface is planar.
I believe we've said many times it's not flat.
Yeah, I can remember saying that thousands of times.
Ups and downs, curves and bends and all sorts of things with the surface of the land.
He says that is the only logical conclusion that would explain all the variables in the situation without needless complexity. He's got radar and all of that sort of stuff. He's got optics, sighting, he's got straight lines, surveying. He's got all sorts of stuff, Kenny, and I don't know why he's coming to me. I don't know where. I can't suss out where his missing link is. He seems to have all of the information, yet he wants to come to me, give me nothing, and I don't know. He says,
I wonder if he knows how radar works at all.
Well, I know. That stuff that you didn't see.
By the way, optics are described like geometrically. So everything which concerns optics is described as geometrical. So we are drawing lines and measuring angles, etc. But it has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. So, still.
Yeah, he says, wouldn't you agree that a curved surface would explain this much better than a planar surface? I don't even know what we'd be explaining. And a surface, either being planar or curved, wouldn't solve an explanation, wouldn't explain anything by that. I don't know what he's talking about. He says, as things become more distant, geometry will dictate that physical mass would obstruct both radar and vision. As things became more distant, geometry would dictate that physical mass would obstruct radar and vision. I'd say if it got further away, it would be smaller and hence not obstruct it that much. Depends on the size of the thing, surely.
He is implying that distance makes obstruction. But this is, if he is implying sphere or shape of the Earth, basically, then this is not optical anymore.
I see. When he said curved surface, I was thinking like a ball. Right? You know, yes, like a ball, like a football, right? And as that goes further away, I would think it wouldn't obstruct anything. I would think it would be harder and harder for you to be able to see and detect with a radar. Because you can't,
Yes,
you couldn't
it's-
say that the ground on the floor gets further and further away. It's already there in the distance, right? It's not as if it moves further away. They become more distant. It already is more distant, isn't it? It doesn't became more distant, right? It would have to be an object that's moving that became more distant, right?
Yes, if he's talking about, yes.
He's not talking
Object.
about the floor or anything, is he? Because, I mean, that would be ridiculous to think that the floor became more distant, unless, like, you're in an aeroplane. But they doesn't seem to think about that, does he? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking him.
I would say that he's not expressing clearly what optics says. It is true that if you have different distances at the same, let's say, elevation or even plane, like geometrical plane, you have smaller angles to that object. So yes, it is true, and that's why it changes angular size of the object. So distance changes angular size of the object. It can be measured, of course, but it has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. So it works. You can make distant objects like throwing this ball into the air. It is not necessarily on the Earth.
He's not talking about that. He's not mentioned that in this at all. He's just talking about objects and curves, physical mass obstructing stuff. He's not talked about that anything at all. He's just literally, he says, that appears to be the simplest, most sensible answer. I can demonstrate that proof to myself with a spherical object. I believe you could do the same. Give it a try. I bet you get the same sensible answer I did. Sensible answer. Maybe that's a little bit of a giveaway who Kenny is. Kenny's working with.
But why this object has to be a ball? It can be a cube, for example.
Yeah.
Or mountain.
That's to do with a spherical object, though. I mean, if you're going to use anything within this arena, spherical objects, good enough, right? Tis globe. At least then you can say the spherical object is tis globe.
Yes, like spherical mountain.
Yeah. And Stefan doesn't have any trouble explaining about Wally's rocket, so he must have had a good job. Stefan's had a good going over Wally's rocket, no doubt. Stefan again. He's like quoting me. It's been a while since I've had a proofless logician quoting me. I don't know what's going on with that. I thought he was making a biography or something, quoting me for everything. He says, I don't think it's geometry that changes due to your observation. Who else are you inquiring about this trouble of yours? Stefan says, I don't have trouble with observations and geometry. Go to any university's math and physics department and you will find the evidence and even proof in math. Of what? It doesn't say. It doesn't say what you'll find the proof in math, but there's definitely proofs in mathematics and geometry. It's definitely there. Probably none for the old antiquated globe, but the real globe, it's a difference. I can show you that sometime. I said you should make a video on this to make it clear. I'm not sure I can help you, Kenny. Who else are you talking to? And Stefan Mudd. I'm not interested in talking rockets with people. You should find a different YouTube comment section for things like that. I would suggest going over to the Blue Marble Science community, I think I've heard they're mostly men of a certain age, and they love talking about rockets, especially with each other, showing pictures. Some of them even like making Lego rockets. They love it. Kenny says, you can't visualize how the physical mass of a ball would obstruct the straight line path between observer and the object being observed as the distance between the two increased. I said, Stefan, the object would obstruct the things in the distance. Where is this line of inquiry going? Stefan Mudd says, forget it's a rocket. Talk about my rocket, but just forget it's a rocket. Kenny tells me to scroll back up. Wally wants me to talk about rockets again. Stefan's telling Wally that I'm not interested in men talking about rockets. I say here to Wally, I'm not interested in talking about rockets with you, Wally. It's just not my thing, if you know what I mean. Please find somewhere else to promote your rocket talk. Blue Marble Science, he'll take you on. He loves it. Wally. Stefan Mudd says, why not be honest, Bev? You know you have a hell of a problem explaining why the rocket again. See, I'm not asked about rockets. I don't want to talk about rockets. Kenny says, Bev, you can just say the curved surface of Earth confuses you. You don't need to start creating all sorts of needless contradictions. You could research geodetic surveying and clarify all this stuff fits together, as the rest of us have, so that everybody else has done it. But they can't talk about it, and it doesn't seem to go with what I found in my research, strangely enough. So I find it weird that none of these guys can talk about it, and then none of them can go over the fundamentals with us. He says, enough is enough already. There is no singular horizontal plane to define the baseline of elevation measurements on Earth. Accept it. Let go of the horizontal affliction. I say, I'm glad to see that you've joined us on the contradiction-free globe after all. After that Flat Earth Society talk you did earlier, I'm happy to see that you have accepted horizontal and vertical being perpendicular. You should check out the real globe proofs at onthelevel.live/tisglobe, #tisglobe, and tell your friends. Everybody should tell their friends about the real globe. Stefan Mudd says, who denies horizontal and vertical being perpendicular? Quite a lot of people, actually. It can't be on the old dogmatic globe. Ask Blue Marble Science. That whole thing about triangles having more than 180 degrees relates to perpendiculars to the plane as well. So you can't have perpendiculars. It's weird that. How they never noticed that. Stefan Mudd. Oh, Kenny talking to Stefan. Who knows? He makes up the conversation as he goes. I could say chickens lay eggs, and he would claim I agreed that spherical geometry doesn't exist. See that there? He says, I agreed that spherical geometry doesn't exist. Bev will agree or disagree with anything as long as he thinks it supports his narrative. If anybody could tell anybody else what my narrative is. Can anybody in this room here now to tell me what my narrative is?
That level is horizontal. This is your narrative, and this now that proves real globe.
Mm-hmm. What goes against his narrative, he either deny it or claim he does not know. That's a bit incoherent, that, Kenny, but a good try. Wally says, I do not deny verticals are perpendicular to horizontal. Bev had to make believe that I do, but I do not. Wally's the guy that drew a bent horizontal, so there's no such thing as perpendicular for horizontal and vertical on Wally's bent horizontal. But that's Wally. FE Dogma. This is FE Dogma. The twin tangent conundrum man says, I don't think there is a single glober who doesn't agree that at your location, horizontals are perpendicular to vertical. Everyone agrees with this point. Everyone. The only difference between your model of level and the globe model is we understand horizontal and vertical change as your location changes. Has anyone ever heard of horizontal and vertical changing whilst remaining horizontal and vertical? Sounds like a contradiction to me.
Yes, contradiction in terms. Yes.
Yeah. A changing thing that doesn't actually change. This is FE Dogma. He's good at setting conundrums for people. How do you have something that changes without changing? Over short distances, this change is so small that it is impossible to measure.
So if it is impossible to measure, so someone who is measuring and cannot detect any measurable deviation, it means that he can say that they are not changing. This is only conclusion which you can draw from your measurement. Because if your measurement is telling you that nothing changes, it means that it doesn't change. Simple.
It is impossible to measure. But he knows it's there. Yeah, it's impossible to measure. It's impossible to know it's there, but he knows it's there. Of course.
So it is impossible to say that they change. So he is just disclaiming his own claim.
We don't have contradictions then. You know, you can't have a globe without contradictions. The old antiquated globe, anyway.
You're right, yes, of course.
Yeah. He says, I worked in commercial construction and curvature errors were never an issue since they were well below our construction tolerances. Like when he says construction tolerances, he means impossible. They're not there. There's just no curvature errors of a straight line. He's talking straight lines with a curvature error of 0. They were never an issue whenever he did construction. And then he says, what I don't understand is that you deny what you actually measured when you were at the beach with Blackpool Tower in the distance. I was the one holding the measuring rod. I didn't measure anything. I couldn't measure anything. It was the people that were looking at the auto level that were doing the measuring on the measuring rod. I don't know what he's talking about. Like anybody can see, I'm always the one holding the measuring rod. I don't measure anything. I'm just the guy with the measuring rod. You people are the ones that look through the auto level from the Discord server. You get to do the measuring. So I'm guessing FE Dogma's talking about you people. you people measured something at Blackpool. I wasn't aware of it, but he thinks he did. He says the real question is, why do you ignore observed evidence that clearly shows you are wrong? I think it would clearly show me in the picture holding the measuring rod. I think it would anyway. So that should clearly show that I cannot have been the one making the measurements.
So maybe you were wrong because you wrongly kept measuring rod. I don't know.
Why do you deny the reality of what is seen every day around the world? Can you imagine somebody saying that, right? Why do you deny the reality of what is seen every day around the world?
So every day, everyone is having a measuring rod with him.
Well, no, it's just in general.
Rod.
Just in general, we can go round and say, why do you deny reality? It's like, why? Where? What? Well, you deny the reality of what is seen every day around the world. It's like, who, what? I don't even know. I'm ignorant of nearly close to, very, very close to 100% of the things that are seen every day around the world. Ignorant of it. So I would be the last person to deny it. Although F.E. Dogma, the guy who just comes on YouTube channels to tell this to people, I find there's a whole community of people that do this. I mean, I don't know whether they do it to everyone else, but there are a group of people, FE ones, these ones especially, the ones that have the dogma, the ones that push the dogma. Stefan Mudd says, but they do diverge on Earth, Bev, by distance on Earth, Bev. They do. What do? Stefan Mudd is not very good at being very clear with what they're saying, these guys. Stefan Mudd, Wally, I know. Bev tends to leave out the by distance on Earth when he claims people deny verticals and perpendicular to horizontal. Do you want me to get that again? He's talking to Wally, right? So this is a code between Stefan and Wally. He says, Wally, I know. Bev tends to leave out the by distance on Earth, bunny ears, when he claims people deny verticals are perpendicular to horizontal. Are they sort of admitting that people do deny verticals are perpendicular to horizontal with a qualifier? Is he?
Maybe, but that would be not true. So, because nobody is denying that.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think reciprocal zenith angles are? The equipotential angle of adjustment.
These are only claims.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That they say, I say people claim that vertical and horizontal aren't perpendicular.
Yes, some people do.
Yeah, but this was saying that I'm saying, he's saying to Wally that I leave out the by distance on Earth. Right? So if I were to say that people claim that vertical is not perpendicular to horizontal by distance on Earth, that would be a correct claim. That's what he's saying. He's saying that they do agree that they do actually say that vertical and horizontal aren't perpendicular, but they just have to say by distance. Like this horizontal here isn't perpendicular to that vertical over there. And that horizontal over there isn't perpendicular to this vertical here. That's what they say.
Yes, they claim that, but they cannot prove that.
Yeah, I know. That's right, isn't it, Blue? That's the claim. That vertical isn't perpendicular to this horizontal. If we put that and this in there, would that qualify the by distance? Would that make it easier for you to understand? Next time, I'll try and do that next time. I say to FE Dogma. The difference is, as you've just mentioned, I know that horizontal and vertical are perpendicular. This relationship does not change, whereas you think the relationship changes over distance. Geometry states horizontal and vertical are straight lines / planes, as stated within the principles of perpendicularity. Straight lines do not change over distance. The real globe has no contradictions. In reality, horizontal and vertical are perpendicular. This relationship is within reality. The distance is not going to change this relationship. Your dogmatic flat earth globe model is old and antiquated. The real globe has no contradictions. It's time to get real. It's 2023. That goes for you, Blue. The real globe. Your old antiquated dogmatic one's gone. FE Dogma's exposed it. Twin tangent paradoxes. You've got Rumpus giving the laws of globe and then having to fuck off because he can't justify them. It's a bit embarrassing myself. I'd say it's really embarrassing. But hey, I've got the real globe. We don't have contradictions. We've got all the proofs. The proofs of reality for the real globe. FE Dogma. When did I ever say that straight lines change over distance? Since you deny your own observed evidence with Blackpool Tower, you should take a refresher course in geometry and surveying, says FE Dogma. But yes, the real globe that is spherical shaped has no contradictions. The fact that the horizontal vertical I see in Thailand is in a different orientation than the horizontal and vertical you see in Britain is not a contradiction, he says.
If a horizontal is straight line, it is contradiction.
It's a different orientation, though. Did you not know that? The horizontal and vertical in Thailand is different than the horizontal and vertical in the UK. Everyone all right with that?
Yeah,
FE Dogma, he's saying it.
It means that this is different orientation, therefore not horizontal.
Well, he says it's horizontal and vertical. They're just different orientations, but they're saying horizontal and vertical. I know, it's fantastic thinking, isn't it? You've got to completely put your mind in a different place. They're the same, but different. Exactly the same, but not the same at all. They're different. He says it. And it's not a contradiction either. It says it's not a contradiction. It says the only contradiction is that your model of level is a straight line on a horizontal plane, not in a horizontal plane, does not match with what we see in reality. Why do you deny the reality that we all observe? See, I said this to Kenny and Stefan and all of that. They deal in optics, and geometry isn't optics. There's no optics in geometry. There's no observations. There's not what we see. Not within geometry. Don't get it confused, guys. You've got to think this, separate them. Geometry is within the mathematical realm. Optics is within the visible realm. They're two different things. Stefan says, why do you deny all the measurement methods I listed and what the measurements give evidence for? Or is it mathematical geometry proof you're asking for? He doesn't even know what it's proof of. I say to FE Dogma, horizontal and vertical don't change orientation. They will always be in the horizontal and vertical orientations. Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane is a provable fact and proves the real globe. Your dogmatic flat earth antiquated model is out of date and built on contradictions. There are no contradictions on the real globe. On the level.live / tis globe. Go and check it out. FE Dogma. Lol. Yes, Bev. I have travelled the world and everywhere I went, horizontal was perpendicular to vertical. See? This has nothing to do with level in regards to elevation. So the idea that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane is a provable fact is hilarious. Since anyone with even a basic understanding of surveying and geometry knows this is total BS. Anyone, says FE Dogma. That surveyor that I talked to at the side of the road didn't seem to know it, so we can strike him off, and the countless other surveyors that I've talked to also. Level was horizontal with them. So I'm not too sure. In fact, I haven't found a surveyor, like a real surveyor, to say that level isn't horizontal. I'm really struggling. That most of the surveyors I know about and have talked to obviously live on the real globe, where we have level is horizontal, provably. These guys do it.
All of the surveyors I've asked as well.
Mm-hmm.
Agree level is horizontal. In fact, one of them was very confused as to why I would ask.
Mm. Yeah, I always have to. It's really hard to go up to ask them such a stupid question, really, to be honest, because they do look at you really strange as to why you're asking them. So he says, not only do you have no proof of your reification fallacy, but you even deny that you actually measured curvature drop with your auto level. Yeah, auto levels don't measure curvature drop. I don't even know what curvature drop is. I think they've made that up. And you'll have to, somebody who's around in the Flat Earth Discord servers or the Flat Earth Arena, listen out for that curvature drop. I've never heard of it, but FE Dogma's obviously wanting to say it's a thing that auto levels look at. Ridiculous, but he says, now that is a contradiction. Denying what you actually see, since you can't let go of your model affliction, seems a little off the level to me. I don't know, they're trying hard. So you can give him marks for that?
He knows how to steal the words. Good.
Yeah. KC, 2 hours ago, this one is. KC says, a level surface is able to obscure things that are above it. I think this may be a comment on it. She may have been listening to it, which is always good. Thank you very much, Casey, for going back over the video on Monday. Says, how the hell do you not know what that means? I'll say it again. A level surface is able to obscure things that are above it. Once more. A level surface is able to obscure things that are above it. Anyone? I've read it 3 times now. I've still not got a fucking clue what he's talking about. A level surface is able to obscure things that are above it. Anyone? Any ideas on what that statement actually means? Because I said last time we read it out, I haven't got a clue what it means. And Casey seems to say, how the hell do you not know what that means? I still don't know what it means.
Maybe he's talking about parallax, but it doesn't work that way as he maybe describes.
Okay, so Casey's, this is a Canadian maths teacher, female, says, perhaps you should have asked me for clarification and had an actual conversation rather than wait and talk to someone else who's just as confused as you are. Okay, so here we go. I'll state it again. A level surface is able to obscure things that are above it. Okay, now Casey's going to go into this description of what that actually means. If we stand and look across a large body of water, the surface blocks our view of the distant skyline. The horizon? It's where the sky and the water meet, seem to meet. I don't know whether
that would be horizon. Yes.
The surface blocks our view of the distant skyline. Well, does it block your view? Like, if you can you say that the thing you're looking at is being blocked by the thing you're looking at? If we stand and look across a large body of water, the surface blocks our view of the distant skyline. Apart from the distant skyline that you can see, which is the meeting of the sky and the water, which we call the horizon, the true horizon over water. Is it blocking the distant? I don't know. The water is level by your own dogmatic statements. No, I've never said that. A water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane. I have said that. Don't think I've ever said the water is level.
No.
That's a ridiculous claim, and it's not my own dogmatic statements, Casey. You've imagined that.
Absolutely. I've heard you specifically say the opposite.
Yeah. The distant skyline is above the surface. A higher elevation, and yet it is blocked by the surface of the water from our vantage point. This requires a curved surface.
No, it doesn't.
What?
It doesn't require curved surface.
It says the distant sky. No, I'm trying to get this. The distant skyline is above the surface. A higher elevation. Yes, and yet it is blocked by the surface of the water. It's above the surface. So how can it be blocked by the surface?
It is not physically blocked, but optically, because as I said, parallel rays incoming to our eyes, leaving our lens from other side, they are no longer parallel. So the lens is refracting incoming rays. So they are converging. So the skyline or whatever object it is merging, is going closer to horizon, being at the same elevation. So, for example, if we have object like 2 meters above the ground, or even, let's say, sea level, as they say, and this object is going above horizon, is going further and further away, it is closing to horizon. It is closer and closer to horizon, and eventually it will merge with horizon optically only. And this is what we experience in optical, let's say, reality. This is normal thing. This is called perspective. It works always.
Well,
this is no problem.
I would say I appreciate Paper's patient, well laid out, logical answer to this. I, however, don't think. I mean, I agree with what Paper's saying. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think Casey understands what Dave said. Quite honestly, because look at what the words say. The distant skyline is above the surface. Can a skyline be above a surface? Isn't a skyline on a quote surface?
It would be
How
the
could it be above
horizon.
the surface? Are we talking about a floating city? What are we talking about here? The distant skyline is above the surface, a higher elevation. Higher than what?
Well, it says there is, look, it's if we stand and look across a large body of water, the surface blocks our view of the distant skyline. In the first sentence, the first premise, right, is that that thing in the distance is being blocked. Right, so you can't actually see the distant skyline. It's not there. It's blocked. And then she's saying that water's level and the distant skyline is above the surface, but not the surface of the horizon, not the surface of the water at the horizon. It's being blocked by it. And it says, yet it is blocked by the surface of water. So the distant skyline you can't see. It's never there.
That's what I'm saying. The words don't mean what I think this person thinks they mean.
Like, it's like that distance, the thing in the distance that we can't see, right? Why? What reason is it that we can't see it? Well, it can't be a flat surface because we'd be able to see it. So therefore, it must be a curved surface. I think that's the way we're going.
Yes, but this is still wrong. Because even if we assume that this surface is flat, it would visually obscure this any object. As I said, because it is going optically is going down. So if object is moving away at the same elevation, let's say parallel to...
There's no movement here. You know, like you're giving them that. There is no movement.
Yes, but because this object is at this distance, I am describing what is happening in optics while object is moving away. It is going down in optics, like this corridor edges. They are going, let's say, down. The closer, the closest, let's say, part of this edges of corridor are higher, and this farther parts of corridor at the same elevation, they are lower in perspective in the picture. This is normal thing. So it is going down, let's say. Or it is already down at the distance.
Well, what Casey's saying is that thing in the corridor that you can't see, right? What's the reason you can't see it?
It can be explained by perspective.
Well, it can be explained that you can't see it.
If we cannot see
simply,
at all,
it's a hypothetical question that Casey's brought up that you're trying to impart all sorts of weird shit on. But she says at the beginning, if we stand across a large body of water, the surface blocks our view of the distant skyline, right? So you can't see the distant skyline. You just stood at the edge of water, not seeing a distant skyline. And Casey says, wow, why can't we see the distant skyline? Well, it can't be because it's flat. Therefore, 'tis globe. I mean, that's brilliant. If that's a Canadian mathematics teacher. It doesn't need to be explained anymore as to why she can't see the distant thing that she can't see.
I think Casey would be much better off adopting your globe proofs.
Mm.
Because this one's not very good, I don't think.
It's pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours ago. Well, that's the sort of stuff we've been having right now. We're going to get back to, it took a bit of a while and everybody's left. And this is a video that I've been wanting to go over for quite a while. It's an hour. Oof, how long have we been going on this? An hour already. Well, check this out. Got a bit of buster. It's sloping away. The water.
Yeah.
No, the water level doesn't slope away.
Yeah.
Lou.
Yes, it does.
No,
yes, it does.
It's level. That's what level is.
But it does.
No slope.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We know
it
how
is
water
level. We
flows.
agree with that. It is level.
Yeah, water
it's
flows.
Always the same.
Doesn't it?
Potential.
Down.
It's always the same potential.
Water wouldn't slope away.
All the elevations will be the same, but they're dropping away from that horizontal that is perpendicular to the surface normal at the point you've put your auto level. That's just the way it is.
Play this, I like it. Listen to the words, old Buster's lyrics.
I have enough confidence in the things that I know. I have enough wisdom to see the logic will be shown. I got one chance to show you what I got. I got one chance to show I'm confident or not. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, and the fools are running away. It's not what you say, it's only what you can prove. You better watch your step, you better mind your P's and Q's. You got one chance, show me what you got. You got one chance, show you confident or not. Don't get caught in a matrix of all of these fakers. Society spinning, and I'm just here living on the ground. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, logically thinking, and the fools are running away. You're flipping over backwards to show me where you think you are. Your model dictates that you never see too far. Shrinking in the distance, can do fuck all with an angle when the fools are running away.
I think that's one of my favourites, really. Thanks, Blue Marble, for being here. This is the one that you make your claim that you've still never come by yet. But hey, we'll see how you get on.
On your model, Biff, on a flat Earth,
no, Blue,
level
no,
and horizontal
Blue,
will
stop
be the
it.
same.
Blue,
okay, then
stop
tell me
it.
what your model is.
I don't have a
then
model. I do not
fine.
have a model.
Well,
Other
I
than
do.
saying level is horizontal.
I do, and my model says level is not horizontal.
Brilliant. I say I can prove that level is horizontal.
And I say I can prove it is not.
Brilliant.
Baby, yeah, my pretty baby. I want to walk down the beach with you, yeah.
You know, you obviously think level means flat. There has to be bendy water. You know, there just has to be.
I'm saying, personally, I believe the things that you teach your child, your autistic child, is psychological child abuse.
Like that water is level?
No, you teach your child...
Okay. This is a bit of a compilation of all things Dogmatic Globe. And a little bit of singing. This is Speak Lies, is it? What's he called? Seek Truth, Speak Lies, I think he was called.
I'm saying, personally, I believe the things that you teach your child, your autistic child, is psychological child abuse.
Like that water is level?
No, you teach your child that level is a horizontal plane, which is not true. And the implication of that is that you are teaching your child the earth is flat.
How many different definitions are there?
Well,
there's quite a few.
Earlier told me that when he says water is level, he's using level as an adjective and a noun at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Which doesn't even make sense.
I'm sorry. You don't do science by, defining words.
That, in case you've never heard of him, that is a farmer's boy. The original, the one that gave the name to the farmer's boys. That's him. Saying you don't do science by using level as an adjective and a noun. Both. Can you imagine? Who the fuck would think that you use both at the same time? Farmer's Boy's in complete agreement.
And failing at even that.
Yeah, exactly.
So Kiwi likes to say, oh, their alma mater is Wikipedia. Their alma mater is Merriam-Webster, and they still fail.
You can measure this. Have you tried measuring this? The level surface drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared. I did not say that the level is not horizontal. Oh yeah, it's measurable.
Now, if there was a flat earther, right? Now, these people that talk 20% of the flat earthers, there are just science deniers and globe deniers. But when you come across science deniers, globe deniers, and religious zealot, those are the worst. They're religious zealots, flat earthers. Those are tough to crack.
Let's see. We've got James A. for £5 says, Bev thought a water level gave him horizontal, but you didn't pick him up on it.
But we did.
I think that now this is a level, not a water level.
Yeah, that's not the same thing, is it?
A water level does establish a horizontal for 1 point.
That's McToon's. A water level does establish a horizontal for 1 point, but I don't know what a point horizontal is. And seeing as you're going to have to reference both ends, I'm not too sure.
No, this is solidism, and it cannot work.
Yeah, Blue Marble, if you're listening in, I've just compiled a few clips of Blue Marble scientists and their thoughts on level. That's why I'm here. That's why we're doing. We are levelology. We're studying level, different people's opinions on it. So let's go.
Still,
Logic. Go on.
Impossible to establish at one point because water level has two ends, so you have 2 points.
Mhm.
So this statement at one point is not true. Just it.
Yeah. If the Earth is a spherical object, don't get triggered by this. Just logic. You go along with that. It's okay, right? P.
Sure.
Then the surface of liquid water must be curved.
That is true.
Okay.
And it is.
There you go. Well, it's a logical statement. But I would offer you that level is horizontal. So
A water level does establish a horizontal.
The level surface drops away, drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared.
Right, so I'll cover what a water level is. Here's a water level.
Contradictions.
Does establish a horizontal. Imagine you have a tube and it's connected, right? So imagine these two pens are connected.
Like a water level will always give you equal elevation, but if it's long enough and it's further enough away, it will not coincide with level at one end.
And you put water.
So that's Ruhif that says it will not coincide with level at one end. A water level will always give you a level, but if it's long enough, one end will not coincide with level.
So not always.
Mm.
Always, but not always.
Always, yeah. Not always, not always. I'll let you listen to that again, just in case you're...
Like a water level will always give you equal elevation, but if it's long enough and it's further enough away, it will not coincide with level at one end.
There you
You
go.
put water in them, right, and the top is open so the water can flow up and down. What'll happen is they'll level out to, and they'll stop moving and they'll sit there like this. And when you sight across the top of them,
I guarantee if you do this test properly and you sight down them, you'll see a drop. Absolutely.
The water level will drop, you
Yes.
think?
From horizontal.
a water level does establish a horizontal.
Right, yeah. That's what Jesse Kozlowski said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's right.
See, so we have, there's a few contradictions, right? It's either level or it drops from horizontal. And sometimes Ruhif said if it's over so long, it won't be level. One end of it, at least. It's what we call the horizontal paradox.
That
Few of them
establishes
have
a
problems.
horizontal for the position that's right in the middle of them, right? Not for this position and not for this position, just for the middle of those two positions.
How do you find the middle position? You have to use the two ends. And if you use the two ends to find the middle, then 3 coplanar points, right? The middle point is coplanar with the points at either end. It's ridiculous to think it wouldn't be. How do you reference it? It's just a little problem that they have.
Yeah, I would say that a water level of any distance is not establishing a perfect level. Or
There you go. Ruhif says that a water level of any distance isn't producing a level.
But before he said differently. So
Well, they always say that, yeah. Definitions mean nothing, so you can't really trust the words of somebody who just makes up says loads of different things.
It's like listening to an episode of The Twilight Zone, really.
Yeah. Isn't it unfortunate that I've clipped all of these things and put them all together? Well, I call it unfortunate, or maybe lucky that I've documented all of this stuff. Loads of it.
a theoretically perfect level.
Horizontal.
Because the Earth is curved.
Now, If the Earth is flat, that horizontal will be the same everywhere, right? So you could go a mile away and establish, use the same tool to measure a horizontal at the point that's between them. And
bam, water levels give you horizontal.
so then you have two horizontals, and then you could test to see if those two planes are parallel.
I agree, level's horizontal.
If the Earth is spherical, then those two planes of horizontalness for that point will diverge from each other.
The level surface.
So yeah, do you get that? If the Earth is curved, then the horizontals will slope. I would say horizontals don't slope. Therefore, 'tis real globe confirmed. Not wanting to trigger anybody.
Drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared.
And that's what he needs to test. A water level does establish a horizontal. He needs to test to see if horizontal at two different places are the same.
Oh, right. So that's McToon says, you know, when they're good at handing out things that other people have to do, right? So other people have to establish that horizontals in different places are the same. Like horizontal is horizontal here and horizontal is horizontal over there. The law of identity between the horizontal here and the horizontal there has to be maintained within a test for McToon. Yeah, see, that easy.
This is classical reversal of burden of proof, because they say that we have to prove that verticals are parallel to each other, but their claim is that they diverge. So the burden of proof is on them. They have to prove that verticals are divergent over distance. But at the same time, they say that this is impossible to measure. So they cannot prove their claim. So they are reversing burden of proof on, let's say, us or on you, Bev, to prove that they are parallel.
They want me to prove that horizontal is horizontal.
Yes.
In two different places, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. This is classical reversal burden of proof.
But I mean, it is a bit ridiculous, right? This here is a horizontal. You've got a horizontal. Both of them are horizontal. Proved. Or maybe not. Depends.
I guarantee if you do this test properly and you sight down them, you'll see a drop. Absolutely.
The water level will drop, you think?
From horizontal.
A water level does establish a horizontal.
Right, yeah. That's what Jesse Kozlowski said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's right.
So.
Bam! Water levels give you horizontal.
And I told him that.
I agree, level's horizontal.
But he missed it. He doesn't like it. He just wants it to be different. So,
yes.
Actually, I would say it's worse than science denial. It's twisting science. It's worse than pseudoscience. It's perverting science to say that.
Can we switch to probability of Bev? Bev joining the show today. Bev. He popped in and asked, are you wanting a basic objective geometry lesson? No.
I have slandered Fight the Flat Earth, I have slandered Red Rhetorics, I have slandered Seek Truth, Speak Truth, all the motherfuckers and bitches, and they can all suck my dick. Because they are fucking YouTube names. They are fucking just random, faceless, nameless potatoes. I can say whatever the fuck I want of them. They are nobodies. They are just random names and icons on YouTube.
This is in
See, that's Jose speaking now. Jose, I don't hold the same opinions of the YouTube content creators that Jose has. Different people have different ways of reacting to content creators. I'm not this sort of a thing. I don't really do this. What's Blue Marble talking about doxing? Oh, I see. Nice one, Blue.
College,
Very
no
clever.
lessons needed. I'm reading my own comments.
I talk about YouTube characters and names. I don't talk about real life shit.
We need dynamic discussions. Thanks, Bev. If you want to join, there was a picture and image you posted with like maybe 2 points, Bev. Well, I asked if you would like to join and present those points off your mouth, maybe make your point, and then we can go around and everybody will comment on it.
Somebody want to say something? I say, all right. They are fucking YouTube names. They are fucking just random, faceless, nameless potatoes. I can say whatever the fuck I want of them. They are nobodies.
So I say yes. Try thinking. I say yes on the discussion, on you making a point, and we get it back and forth. We all address the points. But if you want to come in for some kind of quote unquote lesson,
I talk about YouTube characters and names. I don't talk about real life shit.
The answer is no. This is in school, bruh.
I have slander, fight the flat earth. I have slander, red rhetoric. I have slander, seek truth, speak truth. All the motherfuckers and bitches, and they can all suck my dick because they are fucking YouTube names. They are fucking just random, faceless, nameless potatoes. I can say whatever the fuck I want of them. They are nobodies. They are just random names and icons on YouTube.
Like I say, I don't know whether to say I agree with him or disagree with him, but his particular approach of the way he considers other YouTube characters, let's say, because he does admit there that he doesn't consider YouTube characters as real people. Perhaps he's met this. Well, he's met Jesse Kozlowski and those guys, so he may have an inside knowledge of the YouTube characters that you can just say anything about them because they're not real people. They're just characters, and in a year or so they'll have got rid of them. I mean, like the Blue Marble Science one. I mean, I don't know how long that one's going to be around. He'll probably go the way of the Jesse Kozlowski soon enough.
Thank you.
Christ, to listen off him, I'd have to unlearn stuff. No, just
Perpendicular, level, horizontal. Yeah, I bang. Perpendicular, level, horizontal. Yeah, I bang.
Bev, I think Jose just said exactly the opposite of what you wrote in the chat there.
Yeah. I say I want you to join. Try thinking for an open discussion, and for you to make a point, and us to address the points that you are making. But if you just want a monologue, you can do that on your channel. You know.
I talk about YouTube characters and names. I don't talk about real life shit.
We're not here for monologues. We're here for an open discussion. But yeah, I would like you to join. So yes, I say yes, Bev. And I will share the link one more time.
Okay. Mic check.
Check loud and clear. Hey, should I pull that image up? Yeah, you shared an image with like some writing. I'm gonna present the screen.
Yeah.
We'll start there.
I heard somebody say something about what does something have to do with the shape of the earth earlier. One of your guys. So I thought to myself, well, what does level being horizontal have to do with the shape of the earth? Similar question, right?
It sounds simple question to me, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question, right? This is me, so I've paused it. What does level being horizontal have to do with the shape of the earth? It's a question that they threw out, and I thought, I like those sort of things. I'll take that on. Let's say, here we go.
What does horizontal have to do with the shape of the earth? Is that the question?
It doesn't really have anything to do with the shape of the earth like you guys talk about it. But in order to measure anything with surveying, You measure distances horizontally, and you
Bev, isn't that your niche? You say because level is horizontal.
I agree, level's horizontal.
I think this is where the confusion starts. You use a water level to create a horizontal.
Because level is horizontal.
Bam! Water levels give you horizontal.
Therefore, Earth is not a globe. That's you. So you imply that horizontal has to do with the shape of
Jose.
the Earth, no? Okay, go ahead.
I say level is horizontal, and I can prove it. That's it.
Okay, so it have nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. All right. So I misunderstood you all the time. Then.
Yeah, all distances are measured horizontally, right? That's a fact.
That's number one. Yeah. That's the number one point. All distances are measured horizontally. Explain, please.
When you want to go from here to somewhere else and you get a map and you measure a distance, that is a horizontal distance.
Oh, well, I'm looking at that map, bird's eye view, and I look at it in the phone, in a computer, in a paper, and it's bird's eye view, so it has nothing to do with horizontal there.
Yeah, it's that distance is a straight line distance, horizontal.
I disagree.
Okay.
So what if
Jose disagrees that from A to B on a map is a straight line, horizontal distance. He's okay. He can do that if he wants. It's up to anybody. It's up to anybody to check as well for yourself. It's definitely a straight line distance, though, right? Whatever the orientation may be, even though the contour lines show elevation changes, that's up to you. Decide whatever you want. But the statement was all distances are measured horizontally on the map. Boom.
I'm going north to south. That wouldn't be horizontal. That would be what's vertical.
I don't know who that was. Somebody in the chat. Did you hear that? Do you want to go back again? Hear that? Horizontal.
I disagree.
Okay.
So what if I'm going north to south? That wouldn't be horizontal. That would be what's vertical.
He thinks going north to south on a map is vertical. You like it? This is over there at Jose's. They don't want to be taught anything. Like, they just want to do whatever they want to do. Slander people or whatever. I don't know. Are you sure?
I guess unless I tilted my head 90 degrees.
But you think traveling north to south on a map is traveling vertically to you?
If I'm looking at the map, yeah.
Wow. If he's looking at the map, north to south would be vertical too. I don't know who that was saying that. It makes you wonder what, but it makes you wonder whether people know what horizontal and vertical is. They're thinking the mathematical on a graph. I'd say, I don't know whether people are like this. I mean, this was done how long ago? It's over a year ago at Jose's. So, I don't know how far people have come, whether anybody understands it, but I'm guessing stuff has been obfuscated that much now. Something that's very simple, like a statement that all distances are measured horizontally on a map. Right, okay.
If I'm looking at a map...
that explains a lot.
So can you explain to me why seismographs can map the Earth?
Like, nobody asked him as well. Nobody corrected him on the vertical on a map if he's looking at it. Nobody mentioned that to this person. So I don't know whether anybody realised it or not. I was the only objector to him saying that. No, we're just talking about these few points here, remember?
Your one point you can only quote. Yeah. Can you explain to me why we have a machine that can map the Earth then?
You have a machine that can map the Earth? I mean, come on, people. Can you explain to me why we have a machine that can map the Earth? Anyone answer that question? Or does anybody think it's just fucking ridiculous? I'm guessing nobody can answer that question.
Yeah, do you know what a seismograph is?
No, please tell us.
You don't know what a seismograph is?
Please tell us.
So if I tell you what a seismograph is, will you change your perception as to thinking what you think could possibly be wrong?
Does it measure horizontal? Did everybody hear that? Please tell us.
So if I tell you what a seismograph is, will you change your perception as to thinking what you think could possibly be wrong?
If I tell you what a seismograph is, will you change your perception that you could possibly think that something that you think was wrong? I'll do it again, just in case you didn't quite get what he said.
Trolling.
Yeah, it's just absolute fucking ridiculous. And all of the Globe guys over there are just going along with this. This is literally what you have to deal with within certain Discord chats. And along with that, if you mention the wrong name, they'll end up calling you a doxer.
You don't know what a seismograph is.
Please tell us.
So if I tell you what a seismograph is, will you change your perception as to thinking what you think could possibly be wrong?
Does it measure horizontal distances? Does it measure distances horizontally?
No.
Or can you help Jose with his claim that he says that they aren't measured horizontally with your seismograph?
You're thinking very 2D. I need you to come out of that dimension real quick.
Talking about these 2 points in this one picture that Jose's just brought up.
I don't see a picture. I see what does level being horizontal have to do with the shape of the Earth. That's what I see.
Yeah, that's the question.
What picture? What point?
Okay. All distances are measured horizontally. That's point one. That's what. Can everyone see it? It's like literally got it wrote on the thing. And I'm having to deal with people that think looking at north-south makes it vertical if he's looking at it on a map. And now he can't see the question that's being asked, and he's talking about all sorts of other stuff. Now, this is Jose, the guy. I don't know if how is he doing, Jose, at the minute? I'm not too sure. Is he still doing his crayon drawings? I hope he's doing well. What we're talking about right now.
Yeah. Well, Bev, if we go with your model, and we assume that the Earth is flat, then horizontal.
Who's assuming that? Who's assuming that? Blue Marble wants to assume that the Earth's flat. Strange, that, isn't it? Blue, is that what you're assuming?
I was trying to have a discussion. If you'd like to, we can.
Okay, well, if that's what you're assuming, then okay, we're going ahead with your assumption that the Earth is flat.
If the Earth is flat, then horizontal and level would be the same, would they not?
I don't know. It depends, doesn't it? On your flat Earth, is it orientated in any particular manner?
I'm not talking about orientation specifically. I'm talking about
you said level would be horizontal.
I'm talking about the concept of level and horizontal being the same. That's your contention, is it not?
Well, if it's flat, then you've only got a two-dimensional plane to work in, haven't you? So is it horizontal or isn't it horizontal in your imaginary assumed flat Earth? Is your flat Earth that you're assuming orientated horizontally?
That shouldn't be too hard to understand. I'm assuming that it is flat. I'm assuming that equal elevations would be the definition of level. And I'm assuming
everything would be the same, wouldn't it? It's flat.
Okay.
You've got no elevation changes, have you?
Yeah. The elevations remain the same. And a horizontal and that level line would be a flat line, or horizontal line, right?
If it's orientated horizontally, then yes, you would be correct.
Okay. All right, good. Then that means that I've got a complete and total understanding of your model. And
your model, you've just assumed it.
I I don't take any issue
That
with
was
it.
your
Okay.
model, Blue. You assumed flat.
Right, no. Okay.
He just based his model off of the questions you just answered.
No, do you hear that? Right. So what they're doing is Blue Marble assumes a flat, and then he spends ages telling us what orientation it would be, and that there is no elevation on it. So it's just a flat plane. Right? Nothing else. That's it. That's the one that Blue Marble assumed. And then he said, that's what you must imagine. That's yours. We're just going to make this. I'm going to assume this and then hand it over to you and say, this is yours. Blue Marble science. Genius. No,
I'm going to compare it. Listen, Bev, I'm going to compare and contrast two different concepts. The one is yours.
Which concept?
The model I adopted to begin with.
What, the level is horizontal?
All right, guys. Can I have one second? My apologize. I wanted this when Bev joined. I wanted to be like really laid back and.
Remember that what I've came in for. Jose asked me to come in there, and I said, point one. All distances are measured horizontally on the map. Has anyone addressed that particular statement yet? Or are we just running around not wanting to answer that? Is that become ECV topic? Is point one. Let's see where we get to.
Talk. But I had a little personal issue to take care of, and it broke my heart, but it's all good. Just some guy that used to live over here, and he's struggling, and he stopped by to say hi to me. So
I talk about YouTube characters and names. I don't talk about real life shit.
Sorry about that. I'm all in now. So please talk and let's talk. I'm gonna listen because I don't know where you guys at in the topic. Carry on. Go ahead.
All right, and you on that basis, on your model, Bev, on a flat Earth.
No. Blue,
level
no,
and horizontal.
Blue, stop it. Blue,
okay, then tell me what your model is.
I don't have a model. I do not have a model.
Well,
other than saying level is horizontal.
I do, and my model says level is not horizontal.
Brilliant. I say I can prove that level is horizontal.
And I say I can prove it is not.
Brilliant. There you go. There you go. Still not done it yet. I don't know how Blue's going to do it. Unless he's got Chaiki to look at some... He's got Chaiki scouring YouTube looking for videos that he can use to prove something in the visual realm. The images. Images for proof. That's why I say the old, antiquated, Blue Marble scientific... dogmatic globe model. It's on its day. There's no proof. Blue Marble's got nothing. He never has. They just make claims.
Can I show a graphic and maybe we can help clarify this? I don't know
can
how
we just
to
carry
show
on with this one that Jose brought me on for? Point one, Blue. All distances are measured horizontally. Would you agree?
All distances are typically measured at the same elevation. Now you can measure. You can measure different. You can do this different ways, but if you want a true distance across the surface of the Earth, no matter what shape that surface is, right, it would be distances measured at equivalent elevations. Would you disagree with
distance. The shortest distance.
Okay, shortest distance.
Okay.
But those points need to be at the same elevation. Do you agree or not?
When you do it,
yes or no?
When you do that, you measure the shortest distance. You know how you work out the shortest distance?
Yes or no? Same elevation.
Absolutely, Blue. Yes. Horizontal. Level is horizontal. The same elevation. A zero elevation change is a horizontal. Okay. All distances are measured along that horizontal. Do you know why? It's the shortest
Do I know
distance. Yeah.
Of course I know why it's shortest distance.
Because any other distance would be longer because of the
It wouldn't be
fundamentals
straight,
of
would it?
trigonometry.
Wouldn't be a straight line, would it?
A horizontal line is definitely a straight line and the shortest distance within the trigonometry on the triangle. The hypotenuse is the longest side.
That would be in space, right? Open space, because on the...
Here we go. Jose's coming in to save Blue. Jose's may act like he's useless and he hasn't got a clue. But he knows when to come in and save his fellow blue marble scientists when they're going really badly. You can hear Blue stuttering. He's stuck. He has to answer about the equal elevation being a horizontal straight line, geometrically. And Jose's struggling to help him.
Surface of the Earth, the shortest distance between points is a great circle. That's a fact.
Well, in reality, like I
globe.
say, all distances are measured horizontally.
On a globe.
Yeah, but
that cannot be true.
Yeah. On the surface of the Earth, in reality. Yeah, in reality, on the surface of the Earth, great circle would be the shortest distance between 2 points.
But a horizontal isn't a circle, is it?
Horizontal would be a straight line, just as you define it.
Mm-hmm.
But it will not follow a level line. It cannot.
It cannot, right? It is blue marble science we're dealing with now. Right? It cannot. Can't. It has to be. They're the proofs of the blue marble science. Remember, just one simple point. All distances are measured horizontally. It's not hard. It's not difficult. Why are they struggling? It's because they are. Why can't they say it? They can't say it because they don't have the real globe. They have a dogmatic globe that doesn't allow them to say it. The real globe does. Level is horizontal on the real globe. In reality, reality is consistent with the real globe. Doesn't seem to be doing too well for the dogmatic globe. The blue marble scientists.
The level line is going to follow gravity. It's going to follow the elevation. It has to.
It has to. It has to. The mantra of the blue marble scientists. No proof. Just it has to. It can't and stuff like that. That's what they can say. They can do. We should be moving over to the real globe. Come and talk to us about the real globe. Proofs in reality. Rather than people that are just obfuscating. A simple point.
A horizontal line cannot.
Perpendicular to vertical, right? You call a plumb bob vertical, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And then perpendicular to that vertical.
Call it a surface normal if you like.
Yeah. If you want, yeah. But it's just perpendicular, isn't it? If we want to use the true geometric term for the word, geometric perpendicular, which means at right angles to.
Yeah, perpendicular meaning right angles to, normal meaning perpendicular to the surface at that point.
Yeah, at right angles to. Same thing, isn't it? It's just a different word meaning exactly the same thing.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another confirmation from blue marble science. If anybody listens to anybody talking about normal, they just mean perpendicular, at right angles to. It's just a different word. Same thing, same meaning, just adding a different word in. I don't know why, because normally everybody understands at right angles and perpendicular. Normals are very... don't know, a useful term, but normal. Like it wouldn't change, would it? Would a normal change?
And a horizontal is a tangent line touching that sphere at one point. Can only touch at one point, right? It's a line.
No, a horizontal is just a straight line.
Horizontal can only touch the horizontal I'm talking about. A tangent horizontal can only touch the sphere at one point.
But horizontals aren't tangents. They don't touch. So I don't know why they keep doing this. I mean, I think it's because Nathan Oakley went mental talking about tangents for ages. And these blue marble scientists have picked that up from him. And now they all imagine that horizontal is a tangent because Nathan Oakley told them it was. That's my idea anyway.
And it can only be perpendicular to a surface normal at that one point.
Where did you get this sphere from, Blue?
Reality, the surface of the Earth. Yeah, that's what we live on, Earth. That's what we get.
Okay, so could we say then... See, the problem here is the difference between the dogmatic globe of old, the antiquated, old dogmatic globe, is what Blue Marble does here. He says 'tis globe, right, at the wrong place. He's put 'tis globe at the beginning, and now he's going to struggle fitting geometry onto the globe. Right? He doesn't know how to finish the logical statement correctly. That's why we go to the new real globe. It's just a matter of fixing your logical statements. Blue Marble's struggling here because he's now trying to fit reality onto a dogmatic globe, right? It's just he does it the wrong way round. He can't blame him. They've been taught by all the flat earth society and all of that sort of stuff, so they've been led into certain arguments to make it all circular, just so we don't have to talk about the real globe. They're embarrassed about it, really. Could we say that if we do a little bit of logic, if the Earth is a spherical object, you go along with that, it's okay, right? P.
Sure.
Then the surface of liquid water must be curved.
I have a contention.
You can't prove that.
What do you mean you can't prove that level is horizontal?
Based on what?
Based on how do you prove things? You prove things through geometry, through mathematics, right?
Yeah, you prove things through observations.
Oh, how do you like that? I don't know if anybody's been with us over the past few days. We did do a Euclid course, which we will be going back over again because a lot of people that are in with us didn't go over that. So we will be going over that as a group. But we have been going over an introduction to Western philosophy. Now, the excellent teacher at the Hillsdale, the lecturer at Hillsdale College, it goes through that. And one of the things he goes to explain is the triangle, and he does it beautifully. The way he explains that you don't know triangles because you've drawn a triangle. There's an extra realm of mathematics where the thought and the comprehension of what a triangle is, geometry, exists in this mathematical realm, whereas a thought is. And that thought is put through a process. They called it a logical process, but it's a very guided process through your mind that you go through, and that is where proofs exist. Whereas F.E. Dogma, the dogmatic guy, the one that hands out the dogma, has said that proof is through observation, which it isn't. Observation is within the visible realm. Proof exists within the realm of thought. It's hard to say, but this is where proof exists. Proof exists within your mind, not through an observation.
I object. It is not hard to say.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say to somebody who doesn't know what a proof is, right? Like this, they can hear F.E. Dogma saying, no, you have to see it. And think, well, maybe that's what proof actually is, right? You're actually having to see something for yourself, because there's a lot of this talk, right?
Yes, but this is just misconception of proof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and we've been dealing with this for years, trying to talk to people about this idea. And the idea is that you need to have that time to process stuff in your mind. You can't be talking about it. You need to work through these things as a process. I'll put it back again just so you can listen to this, because remember, this is F.E. Dogma, and F.E. Dogma is handing out dogma. That's his name. He's telling everybody in this room how proof is given. Listen to it. Listen very carefully to how they're doing this. Based on how do you prove things? You prove things through geometry, through mathematics, right?
Yeah,
no, you prove things through observations.
Yeah.
I say you prove things through geometry, through mathematics. F.E. Dogma says you prove things through observations. There's two conflicting things there. Who goes with what?
Proof is syllogism. You prove via syllogism.
That's the beauty of this. I keep saying to people, right? We do go out, we do observations, we do demonstrations. We do that, yes. But the proof doesn't need you to go anywhere. It just requires you to work through the process mentally. And you can do that for yourself. Everybody has the ability to do those sort of things. Whereas the observations will come afterwards. What we can do is we can work through proofs together, and then we can go out and do an observation to see whether it goes with what we've decided for the proof. We'll go with the results. We'd see the observations of that test. But the test has to be worked through as a mathematical proof first, and then we have to develop the mathematical proof into something that we can physicalize and keep them comporting the same all the way through. We can do it. This sort of thing where they say you have to prove this, well, if it's in reality, yes, of course you can prove it. That's the whole idea of this. That's the whole idea of science. Things in reality are taken from the visible realm into the mathematical, and you can prove them. They're there in reality. Of course you can prove things. This is why this arena is so strange to me. I was set a challenge. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, and testing and physical testing, physical experiments and physical testing, yes.
Yeah. And geometry, right? And mathematics, proof.
But number one is incorrect.
Well, it doesn't prove, but it's a tool
all
that helps.
distances are not measured, sorry. All distances are not measured horizontally on Earth, no.
And one point, mathematics, geometry is a tool that we use to help us determine stuff.
Absolutely.
So number one
That's
is
why all the
wrong.
proofs are in it.
Because here's the problem with that. Not all distances are measured horizontally on Earth. No. For example,
Yeah, that's what
the
it is.
distance from the surface of the Earth to the center of the Earth.
Bev, what
is
time
not
are we
me-
doing the
Sorry.
logic?
Well, we're going over a video right now. we are live. We won't be going over any more logic. It'll be like next week, the logic. Tuesday, Wednesdays. Right, click on the thing and we're going over a video, an old one. Blue Marble and Jose.
Where?
At the same place as last time.
I don't see you. That's
Top
why
of the
I
list.
can't click on it.
Should be at the top of the list.
Agents.
Okay, we go on for this for a bit.
Measured horizontally.
It's not measured at all. Ever.
In fact,
Nobody's
on a
ever
small
measured
scale,
that.
Okay, I found
on a
you.
small
I
scale,
just had to click on the
smaller
other thing.
scale. As an archaeologist, I work with strata in the earth. So I know
Thank you.
that if I go vertically and I measure vertically, I can expect to find different fossils. Boom.
Yeah, that was number 2. You're jumping the gun.
No, it's number 1.
No, number 2 is elevation is measured as a vertical change from
you're not talking about
the
elevation
horizontal.
when we're working with strata in the earth. Incorrect. Wrong again. Keep trying.
Right.
Keep trying.
So Adam, let's see. I think Effie Dogma had a point maybe, so we can try to wrap this one up and go to number 2. Dogma, you had a point on number 1 here? Or maybe no, I heard somebody else.
Over short distances, yes.
Oh, were you agreeing with us? Because Blue has agreed with us as well, and now FE Dogma's agreeing with me. But that other guy
short
said
distances, level and a horizontal line are basically one and the same because the difference is so small, it's not even worth dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make.
Right, it's okay. So they're struggling now. See, this is one of the things that I have. Being in this arena, it's very strange because I live in Alice in Wonderland sort of place. Whereas I say something and people don't know what to do, whether they agree with me. They don't really like to agree with me, so they have to go the opposite way, but they're unsure as to whether there's a trick in it or something. It's very strange the way that people sort of react around me. Very strange.
Make something crystal clear. In no way, shape, or form am I agreeing with you. I'm trying to make sure I state.
See, Blue can't agree with me. He hates having to be able to agree with me, which is very strange for a Blue Marble scientist. Really, you'd think that the scientist would be going after the science, but don't know.
Your model correctly. That's all.
I've not got a model.
Not
I'm just telling you what happens when we measure distances.
Okay,
yeah.
Then in no way am I agreeing with you that horizontal and level are the same. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
In
and
no
I
way
agree
do I
with
agree
Blue.
with
Horizontal and a level line are completely different. But I would agree, working in construction, that over short distances, it's not even worth dealing with. We certainly don't deal with it because it's way below our tolerances.
So it is the same, but FE Dogma, but he doesn't want to say it is the same because Bev said that level and horizontal are the same. And it's provable as well. I mean, it's definitely provable. It's in reality. Proves the real globe. That's what they get frightened of, right? I didn't bother telling them that we're trying to, we all know that we live on a globe. I mean, it's obvious we live on a globe. Just couldn't understand why they couldn't have reality the way reality is on their globe. It's very strange. Very strange indeed. Well, we've got a test, and we've been given some numbers from Ruhif. When he isn't recording us for trying to get to sue us. He gave us the numbers that we've got. So we do have some numbers that we have to work to. And we do have the tools, water levels. You guys say that the water level, can I get it? Does it drop away from the horizontal?
The level surface drops away, drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared.
With distance.
Or does the horizontal rise? Which
10
one of it
seconds.
two is it? Go on.
10 seconds. I need 10 seconds. First, the Rumpus, I did not let you in the show today because you will take over and it will get shouty. So I'm not going to allow that today. Sorry, Rumpus. Next time.
Remember, the Earth is incredibly flat.
Number 2, John Watson with a £5 super chat says, I am here. Do not fear. Shout out to John Watson. Carry on, gentlemen.
Okay. So do you guys say that the can we say the water level, because an auto level is horizontal, right? Can we say the water level drops away from the horizontal?
The level surface drops away, drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared.
Yes, it would drop away from the horizontal with distance, but over short distances, it would be quite hard to measure.
Okay. Now, I have also heard from Jesse Kozlowski on this very show, and I think I can remember him saying that the water level drops away from the horizontal at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared.
The level surface drops away, drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared.
Would you agree with that?
Approximation.
Yeah, just like Lego.
Okay, so there's a dropping of the water level. Did you hear that? Blue said, yeah, just like Lego. That'll come into it when we do this, right? Yeah. Away from a horizontal at that rate.
Yep.
Okay. Is that from both ends?
Yep.
Either side of the tangent point, yeah.
Yep. From both ends. It drops from both ends. Infinite drop. I love these sort of questions. That's it, right?
Either side of the, yeah.
Okay, so where are you putting a tangent point with, if you imagine a water level going from A to B of a mile length, like that, see that canal there? Let's say that canal is a mile long, right? Mm-hmm. And we'll call one end of it A and the other end of it B. Now, which end, where would you put the horizontal for that particular stretch of water?
I would put the horizontal at A. Go ahead, Blue.
You can tell the dogma. Dogma wants to hand out his dogma to them all. Listen to it.
The horizontal is going to be wherever you set that auto level up. That's the point of tangency. Wherever you set your water.
The horizontal is wherever you set your auto level up. Big Blue Marble Science. Where's the horizontal? Wherever you set it up. Nice. For the water level from A to B. That's what we've done. We've set a water level up from A to B and asked Blue, where is the horizontal? And Blue says, wherever you set it up.
So it does not disappear at distance.
It's not at one end or the other, and it's not dropping from either side, and there's no distances. It's wherever you want to put it. I'll have to go back again and let you listen to it. Blue Marble Science, when asked, where's the horizontal?
The horizontal is going to be wherever you set that auto level up. That's the point of tangency. Wherever you set your water level or your auto level.
We've just set a water level up and gone from A to B and gone, where's the horizontal relating to the water level? And he's gone, wherever you set the auto level up. I know, he's getting old. He's under pressure. Probably in aporia, wandering around like a... I don't know.
Where you set the auto level up is the point of tangency. Everything is hard. The horizontal is tangent to a surface normal at that point and only that point.
All along there. So if you set it up all the way along there, it would be perpendicular to the surface of the water at every point all the way along.
No, that's not what I said.
Oh. I was just trying to
That's
clarify.
not at all what I said. The horizontal line would be tangent to the sphere, to the ellipsoid, at the point where the auto level is sitting.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know where the auto levels come from. Blue's obviously needed an auto level to imagine wherever the horizontal is. Like, so Blue, after being shown a water level, a canal going from A to B, needs to imagine an auto level to be able to put a horizontal somewhere. And the horizontal will be wherever the auto level is. Why has he got an auto level when we're talking about the water level? Who knows? So you could put the auto level anywhere and it would be perpendicular, right, to the surface. Or it would be parallel to the surface underneath it.
It would form a horizontal line. It will show you a horizontal line that is perpendicular to the surface normal at that point.
Yeah, so the surface would be parallel to the horizontal above it.
At that point.
At each and every point, wherever you were to put the auto level, you were to place it down, it would be, the vertical would be perpendicular to the horizontal of both the auto level and the water level.
No, not the water level.
Well, but you said it's perpendicular, isn't it?
It's perpendicular to the surface normal.
Yeah.
The water level, if I assume one end of the water level is right under the auto level, the surface level is now sloping away from the auto level at 8 inches per mile squared, both directions.
It's sloping away the water. Right. Do you want to get that again? Who've we got? Somebody want banning in the YouTube chat? Get it. I don't know who that is, but you can get out of here. Thank you very much.
The surface level is now sloping away from the auto level at 8 inches per mile squared, both.
So wherever you place the auto level, the horizontal that you have there would be perpendicular to the vertical. Vertical would also be perpendicular to the water level. We're making that the water level and the horizontal would both be parallel at any and every point you set up the auto level along the canal. That's a problem, apparently. Not for the real globe, because obviously that's what happens in reality.
Directions.
It's sloping away the water.
Yeah.
No, the water level doesn't slope away.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yes, it does.
No,
yes, it does.
It's level. That's what level is. So Blue Marble here has this canal, and you setting up an auto level. Although the auto level establishes a horizontal, which is perpendicular to vertical, and the vertical that is perpendicular to the horizontal also is perpendicular to the water level, the canal, at the same time. But Blue Marble thinks that the water level is sloping away from the horizontal, even though they're both perpendicular. Seems like a contradiction, and it is a contradiction because it's the dogmatic globe model. You don't have these problems on the real globe. It's not at all. No slope.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We know
it
how
is
water
level. We
flows.
agree with that. It is level.
Yeah, water
it's
flows.
All the same,
doesn't it?
Potential.
Down.
It's all at the same potential.
Water wouldn't slope away.
All the elevations will be the same, but they're dropping away from that horizontal that is perpendicular to the surface normal at the point you've put your auto level. That's just the way it is. You don't have to like it.
I don't think the water in a canal. I don't think the water is dropping away from anywhere. Blue.
I think
I don't know whether it may just be a philosophical view that I have, but I think it's an objective reality. Like I say,
it's simply following the curvature of the Earth. That's all. It's maintaining equal potential all the way
sorry,
along
Blue,
that
to
line.
interrupt. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
We need to stop screen sharing by Larry Scott. Larry, why do you no? I'm gonna reshare that image because he messed it up. You guys have to holler and let us know when you're gonna screen share. We still got this image up. This is what should be up right now. Got it.
Yeah. Because we've just done the horizontal distance. Like when they measure a distance for the canal from one point to the other where it stops, it's all the same elevation, and that distance on a map, if you measure it, put a ruler on it, that's a straight line. It's a straight line horizontal distance.
It's actually following the curvature of the Earth, Jeff.
There you go again, blue marble. Measuring a horizontal distance on a map is actually following the curvature of the Earth to blue marble science.
So it means that this is bendizontal.
He thinks, he thinks it's curved. He thinks the horizontal is curved. A zero curve, horizontal. Maybe you might think that, right? That's why we need the real globe, right? Because the real globe has this as being true. There's a zero contradiction. You just say at the end, "'Tis globe." That's how you prove the globe. It's reality. The globe is reality. Just go with reality. Well, they use the triangulation, don't they, to position all of those points where you are. That's why we use a horizontal distance.
Well, where is your evidence of this? I have never seen you present any type of evidence to support your claim. You just talked.
The horizontal distances are measured from... Yeah?
And? What does that mean?
You would just establish mean sea level at one point, don't you? And then all of the horizontal distances are all triangulated on the map. That's all I know, right? That is how they make the maps, isn't it?
You keep making the claim that a horizontal line and a level line are one and the same, but you have never presented evidence to back your claim.
What, that level is horizontal?
That is not evidence. Those are words.
That all distances are measured horizontally. That's it. I'm saying that now, right? I'll give you a map and show you that it's to scale and the distances are all measured horizontally.
And where you're going to post this picture?
That,
hold on. Effie Dogma, you're going to be able to address. You want to share that image or picture or video so I can post that up? Go ahead, Effie Dogma.
What was that? I didn't hear that.
No, Bev say I can share a map.
Can show you a map.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, anyone can see a map.
Show,
Blue Marble's saying is something that's stupid enough to leave in there. What's up, Blue? Is anybody disagreeing with anything that I've said so far? I know people don't really want to talk about it, so let's say that. Let's say do any of the Blue Marble scientists disagree with anything that I've said so far? As in, a map, all of the distances on the map are measured horizontally. The maps are scaled, so therefore that measurement was made 1-to-1 as a horizontal distance measurement. All of the triangulation that was measured, all of the distances for those triangles would have been measured as a horizontal distance and mapped onto the map. Therefore, all of the distances measured on the map will be horizontal. Statement. Anybody's willing, if you want to, you can disagree with me. Otherwise, we'll just take it as a given that that is a known fact of reality for maps. As the crow flies, the distances measured by a ruler on the map would be all horizontal. That's it. That also proves the real globe. Don't tell the Blue Marble scientists, though. They've still got their dogmatic model. They need to preach that one. A map. Have you never seen a map, Jose?
Babe, Effie Dogma had a point to make. I'm just asking you to, while he speaks, you can share that map.
It's
so
just
we can present
a map.
it
Any map. You can have a look, Jose.
On the level, 1 second. Effie Dogma, it's time to speak. You can share that map. And then
I won't be sharing the map, Jose. You can go and get a map.
Babe, I'm saying Effie Dogma turn to speak. I'm just telling you to present the map. No, you don't need to answer this. You just need to listen. Listen to me. Present the map while Effie Dogma speaks.
Right, so Jose's invited me on to go over these 2 points here now. And now he's getting really annoyed. He's telling me I need to present something else where I'm a guest. I would never treat any guests like this here. It's not very friendly. Like, you're not going to help to draw people in, being like Jose is here. It may be, I don't know. I hope he's doing okay, but I wouldn't agree with this sort of stuff.
Go ahead, Effie Dogma.
Yeah, I already said my point. He's never provided evidence. He just talks about it.
All right, I'm gonna Google the AE map, azimuthal equidistant map, and I'll present that, and you talk about it, babe. Go ahead, guys.
Is that a 2-scale map, Jose?
It's a map, unless you want to share your own map. I'm gonna share the map that I want to find.
I've got a map here in front of me. It's the UK map of my particular area. It's 2-scale, 1 to 50,000, all the way across the map, all at every point, all the same scale, no differing scale, just the one. It's a nice map.
Okay, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bev. Try thinking map. Go ahead.
How dishonest do you want to be, right? Jose, this is Blue Marble science and the tactics of this arena. You know, dishonesty. I think that's their main thing.
Make your point, Bev.
I don't think the distances in the southern hemisphere quite conform to that map.
You want to tell us about the map, Bev? Now that you say find any map and present it. Here's the map I present. Do you like to present your own map?
I'll say. Do you not understand 2 scale, Jose?
All I'm trying to present is the map.
He doesn't understand 2 scale. A lot of them don't. It's a mathematical relationship of a ratio. They like to use the you don't understand maths and you don't understand geometry when really they're ignorant of it. They haven't got a clue. especially around anything to do with geometry. It's embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed for him anyway. But none of the other guys seem to be able to put Jose right. So I'm just presuming that they're all as ignorant as each other around scale. They have to be, really. It would involve a bit of logic, processing and geometric understanding, which they're not allowed to have because it'd be troublesome for them. They live on a dogmatic globe. And the problem with the dogmatic globe is they can't have straight lines. They can't have parallel lines. They can't have squares, which is a problem, obviously, because in reality, on the real globe, of course we have squares, triangles. It's terrible, terrible. No, I said to scale map. You may not understand what scale is. Do you not?
Yes, I'm going to claim that this is your.
Since you've just put a flat Earth map up. Since you've just put a flat Earth map up, I'll assume you're a flat earther and you don't understand scale.
No, this is your map. This is your map.
It's not my map.
I'm representing you.
Bev, do you remember Zoolander?
Present your map then. Present
Bev,
your map.
do you remember Zoolander? He looks at the model and he smashes on the floor. It needs to be at least 3 times that big. What is this, a school for ants? You're actually.
This would have to be your map because on this map.
Yeah, this is Bev map. This
no,
is
it's your map, Jose. You got it up. You presented it. That's
Bev,
your
you say you're gonna present
map.
a map. You say you're going to present a map. You
no,
said,
I said
get
any
map. This is the map that
scale
This is your map now.
Any to-scale map
now.
You think
adopting
that's
this
to scale?
map now today. No, this is your map. Do you think this is to scale, Bev?
Don't be
stupid. Do you think this map is to scale? Do you think this map is to scale?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay, then present your map.
Any map, Jose. Any.
This is the map that I choose
scale.
for you. This is the map I choose for you.
Well,
why would this not be your map if you're claiming that?
Why would this not be my map? Because it's fucking ridiculous. It's not my map. You know, I don't know how many times I have to tell him I'm not a flat earther. Hello, guys. We live on the real globe.
That level is a straight line, and this is the flat Earth. So a level line across those oceans.
That's just a map,
would be parallel.
Right? That's a map that somebody's give you.
Your map,
isn't it?
Bev. Your map. This
It's
on
not
screen right
my
now.
map, Jose.
Well, present yours. Present yours then.
It just. Okay, I'll get you a picture of it, right?
Bev, do you have?
Thank
a
you
map
very
of the
much. That's
world?
all I was asking for you
do
to
you want
present
the
something.
scale on
If
it?
not, I'll present this. That's pretty much it.
What do you want? You want the scale bit? There you go.
Okay, let's see.
I'll put it in the Discord once I've done it. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And then you tell me if I can hop in this map and walk around and live in it. That means to scale, right?
No, Jose. Do you not understand scale? I find that it's quite common by a lot of people. That it's all right.
The scale, yeah. I call scale what I weight. Some people call scale to weight. Some people call scale the fish things, scales, etc., etc. So on what do you?
He doesn't know what scale is, does he? I mean, this is literally who we're dealing with.
What synonym word of scale you want? Like you want to use the synonym horizontal and level as for a reality. I use the scale as for a fish. Are we talking about fishing now, bruh?
Have a look. I've just posted a picture of the OS Land Ranger map. It says 1 to 50,000 scale.
This isn't a map.
Scale.
What the fuck is this? It says Ordena Survey Liverpool. This is a picture of a paper with a lot of writing. I don't see any map in this. I see a picture of a paper with letters on it. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Can you see? I don't know. I think I don't know what's up with Jose. It's like a real map. I think he's expecting to see it on Google or, you know, I don't know what Jose's after. right? He's asked me to present a map. I showed him a map with a scale. I said, get any scale map. He doesn't know what it is. I show him a picture with the scale wrote on it of the map, and he's laughing like he's a dick. Can you see the 1 to 50,000 scale on that, Jose?
Nice map. Where do I live? In the OS or in the La de Granger? What is Florida in there, bruh?
Can you see the 1 to 50,000 scale, Jose? Do you understand what that means?
Is that where Antarctica is supposed to be? I don't understand it, because when I see the AE map, at least I see a dodo. I don't see anything here. I see a paper with letters in it.
This is what's beyond the ice wall. I have a presentation that proves that level is not flat.
So do I.
You want to see it? I can share my screen, yeah?
Remember, he brought me on to talk about all distances on a map are measured horizontally. And for some reason, they're triggered about level. We've already been over with Blue Marble on the canal and him talking about an auto level and how they're measured with FE dogma. Still, we haven't got to point 2. Talking about horizontal distances. Sad. You guys are obsessed, right? Can you not
Also,
see it yet?
Bev, I do see the scale, but I also see Ordnance Survey.
Yep.
So I'm going to imagine that those guys know we live on a geoid or a globe.
There you go. FE dogma. He's handing out the dogma, and he's just going to assume that those guys that made the map know that 'tis globe. So therefore, they don't need to... I don't know what. Like, what's he saying? Go back again. FE dogma. This is where the dogma comes. If you've ever wondered why people can't answer questions, it's because this is the dogma that's been handed out to them for their dogmatic model. Old, antiquated, dogmatic model.
Survey.
Yep.
So I'm going to imagine that those guys know we live on a geoid or a globe.
Really?
Think so.
You're just going to assume that? Yeah, he's just going to imagine it. I'm just going to imagine that those guys know we live on a globe. Not answering the question. Complete non sequitur. But it's FE dogma for you.
Well, can you tell us how the distances were measured on this when they made this map?
Horizontally.
They measure.
Chains.
No. Okay, I walked into that one. How did they physically? How did they do it?
Chains.
Walk me through the process.
First order.
Yeah,
they called it a process called spirit leveling.
Yeah. Thanks.
So the horizontal distances and vertical elevation changes from the horizontal all the way across the UK from Newlyn. But originally they would have done it from Liverpool Victoria Lock.
Hold on. Alem, why are you screen sharing? Stop screen sharing, please. No, I didn't say nothing. You say stuff, and I didn't answer. Stop screen sharing. I'm going to reshare my screen one more time. The image up is the image up. Please, do not screen share.
Yeah, when you throw a screen share up, it kills whatever was up there.
Yeah. No, I'm lost. There you go.
So, Bev, were you part of that survey team that did the survey of England?
No. 1961, I think, was the last time they did it.
Okay, so you really have no idea how they did this then?
Yeah. Oh, right. Here we go. Now, Blue Marble asked me how they did it. I told him, and he agreed with me. Now, Effie Dogma has come along and said, were you part of the team that did it? And I said no, because they did it in 1961. And he said, so therefore you have no idea on how it was done. Even though Blue Marble has just agreed with me, and we have actually researched how it was done. That's how I was able to answer the question how it was done. But Effie Dogma, well, brilliant argument. Listen to it again. No. 1961,
Okay.
I think, was the last time they did it.
Okay, so you really have no idea how they did this then?
Yeah, of course they have. They told you exactly how they did it. Chains, first order measurement purposes. They used levels.
Well, why is it when I read about these surveys, they're always talking about level lines being curved, and they're using spherical geometry for
who are you
excess
talking
of
to?
triangles and everything else?
Who do you talk to? I bet you talk to everybody, you know, within these little circles round here. How many real surveyors have you ever talked to?
Quite a few. I worked in the construction industry.
Jolly good. What did they say?
All right.
I'm just trying to.
Oh, he's not answering that one, right? Fe Dogma isn't answering the question about what other surveyors said. He just says he's talked to them.
Earth's a spherical object.
Just trying to figure this out. I want to know. I think this is Florida right here, the 108. I just want to say this is Florida. Is this Florida or is a little lower over here? Tell me what Florida is in this map.
It's the bit with the canal that I just showed you a picture of earlier. The one where we're going to do our test at the side of the that canal.
I'm going to say this is Florida right here. I'm going to make it an island.
From the UK, we now have the Ordnance Survey benchmark at Newlyn, which is down south. But before
is this the moon right here?
Before that, it was in Liverpool.
Is this
at
like
the beginning of where
that
canal started off from?
Is this represent the moon?
I haven't got a clue.
This is
isn't it?
This is your map. This is your map.
Oh, it's a bit childish, Jose. Are you sure you're all right?
Pulling chain. Is that what you said, Biff?
Pardon?
Australia over here. Sorry, Biff.
The distances were measured pulling chain, right?
The chains, yeah.
Remind us what
yes.
How long a chain is?
I don't know. However long they had.
Feet, sound right?
50 feet.
No, go on.
66, I think. I'd have to go back and check out.
Oh. How far did Blue say it was? Not weird. Does everybody know that? Talking about chains. 66 feet. They are. 66 feet divided into 100, which makes every one about 8 inches, 7.91 inches or something like that.
I've forgotten now.
33.
All right, we need to get to point two. We need to get to point two.
So the point I'm trying to make is, yes, I'm sure they did do that ordnance survey, pulling chain back in the day. And the measurements were made in little short increments. And that means that they simply stepped themselves right around the sphere.
No. You triangulate to make sure your positions are good. That's the whole point of triangulation. That's why we use triangles. Geometry.
And you do realize...
It's exact.
And you do realize Ordnance Survey UK was at the forefront of electronic distance measuring back in the 60s. So they were measuring point to point from reflector to instrument, which is a straight line. And if they're shooting to something up a hill, then it's not horizontal. They're measuring point to point. And UK Ordnance Survey was at the forefront of electronic distance measuring. They abandoned chains at the first possible technologically viable moment.
Mathematically, they would have to be reduced to a horizontal to be able to mark them on a map. That's why I say the triangulation works as is.
It's a pain in the ass. Pulling chain is a pain in the ass. I've done it.
Yes. It's called better, faster, cheaper.
Yeah.
That's Larry. It's the beauty of it. You just have to measure the baseline. Once you start doing triangulations for plotting points and all of that sort of stuff, you just need to get the baseline. From there on in, you can triangulate.
Absolutely.
You can't triangulate.
Absolutely. Listen to Larry. He knows what he's talking about.
No, wait a minute.
With electronic measurement, they could measure far more baselines because they had ranges in excess of 10 miles in a single one button push measurement. So they didn't measure as many baselines and triangulations when they could measure the full length of most of the triangles.
There's bricks in all of the houses all the way along the road with all of the benchmarks. You can go and find them. There's loads of people that do. They go and take pictures of them, of all of the positions that they laid benchmarks in all the way along, of all of the lines that they did when they did their first order surveying measurements, actual measurements. Last time they did it was 1961. I think. So all distances were measured horizontally, and you would oppose that to the other right line, horizontal one right line, the vertical the other, and you have an elevation change measured as a change in the vertical, don't you? I mean, that's we all know that too. So these two facts that I've wrote down are true.
Those are not facts, and that is not true.
Oh, right. So the two facts that I wrote down there, Blue Marble Science has just disagreed. They are that all distances are measured horizontally, as in on a map, and the elevation changes are measured on a vertical datum. Blue Marble's just disagreed with that. Those two basic known facts. It's a bit hard to deny them, but if you have the old antiquated globe model, the dogmatic globe model, the dogma tells you have to say no to those two facts. All distances are measured horizontally, and all vertical heights, elevations, are measured on a vertical datum. Quite clear, obvious, known facts, done anywhere, anyone, any country, same thing. Euclidean principles. Blue Marble, go back again. Listen to it. Have an elevation change measured as a change in the vertical, don't you? I mean, that's we all know that too. So these two facts that I've wrote down are true.
Those are not facts, and that is not true.
And the Ordnance Survey disagree with you.
That's Farmer's Boy who said that the Ordnance Survey disagree with me, even though it's their maps I'm using. Everybody knows this. The horizontal distances on maps, it's a scale map. You can use that scale to depict reality. They're measured horizontally. That's the real globe. How can he say no? He says no because he's got a dogmatic globe that says, Blue Marble Science, you have to say no to anything Bev says. I don't know why it's just me. I'm only talking about what happens in reality, what we can prove.
And we live on a globe.
Guys, there was a number 2
Yep.
in here, and the number 2 says elevation is measured as a vertical change from the horizontal, and in parentheses level, because horizontal, Bev say, is level always. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like I'd go with an auto level now if you want to do that. That's horizontal. They're calibrated horizontal, so they establish a horizontal, and then you measure a vertical change with your measuring rod from that horizontal, like to the land underneath. The elevation of the land is measured as a vertical change in distance from the horizontal that's set by an auto level or a level, as we say.
And that works over 100 yards or less.
Yeah, so Blue Marbles is agreeing with that. That one is good. Definitely. The vertical elevation is measured as a vertical change from the horizontal. But now we've got a problem because Jesse Kozlowski said that the water level drops from the horizontal at a rate of 8 inches. So now that would have to be an elevation change, a measured vertical change from the horizontal. Okay, everybody see that? Slight contradiction. Blue Marble, dogma. I don't know how he ended up with that. We'll go back again, right? Remember at the beginning when Jesse Kozlowski was saying that the level drops away from the horizontal, and also Blue Marble said that the water level in the canal sloped away from the horizontal. Well, listen again. Distance from the horizontal that's set by an auto level or a level, as we say.
And that works over 100 yards or less.
It's a true statement, then, right?
Especially if you're going to look for an elevation. I mean, differential leveling is usually what's done, and it's to keep you. That's to minimize the error. Otherwise, you're going to continually climb. Correct.
Okay. So when you measure that measuring rod in the distance, it's vertical. It's stood up vertically, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
At right angles to the horizontal
They even
that
have
you're
little
looking.
bubbles on them.
So that all the way
They
out
got
in the
little bubbles on
distance,
them.
there is a perpendicular, vertical to the horizontal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out in the distance being 100 yards or so.
And also at the point where the auto level is.
And then you move your auto level.
And no, where the auto level is, because you said that's where it's horizontal and perpendicular and parallel. There, where the auto level is. But also where you're measuring it with the vertical there, perpendicular there. And if you turn the auto level round and sight the other way, you have another perpendicular, vertical, horizontal at the other end of that.
And that's
so,
why.
Yeah.
And
Okay, we gotta get
differential leveling works.
Yep.
That's why differential leveling works. The drop behind you is exactly equal to the drop in front of you.
Bev, I read something earlier. Is this a fact that you have a surveyor diploma in your wall? Thank you.
I've got a certificate in land surveying on my wall.
On the wall.
Yep.
Nice. Hey, Doofus Manfred for $5 super chat. Thank you, Doofus. On the level. So it's for you, Bev.
Yep.
Why can azimuths between 3 distance locations be measured from a triangle with internal angles of more than 180 degrees?
Does he mean just a triangle? Because I'd say triangles always have 180 degrees. I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, that would break the mathematics rules of triangles, which it's an axiom. I mean, people know that.
Well, not in spherical geometry, it doesn't. In fact, it's impossible to draw a triangle on the surface of a sphere and have the angles add up to 180. They have to be more than 180.
The question was, why can azimuths be between 3 distant locations be measured to form a triangle with internal angles of more than 180 degrees? Now, I don't know what Blue's talking about, drawing lines on a ball, but Doofus is talking about why can azimuths between 3 distant locations be measured. He's not talking about drawing on a ball, is Jeff. He's talking about azimuths. And everybody knows an azimuth is a horizontal plane, right? Saying 3 horizontal planes measuring angles on the horizontal plane, right? Why are they adding up to more than 180? And I'd say they can't. It's a triangle. Triangles have 180. And Blue Marble's talking about drawing lines on balls. Yeah, go on, sorry, go on.
Horizontal plane is not a ball.
I know. I don't know where. You can't stop thinking about balls. You know what they're like. Balls and rockets. You know what they say. Yeah, but I'm presuming Doofus was, when he's talking about azimuth angles, he's talking about sighting one place to another, right? Like you wouldn't be able to see another thing if you were on the surface of a ball and looking to the surface of a ball, because you wouldn't be able to sight it. So the very fact that you're sighting these angles with a device for sighting straight lines means that that is the straight line that you're using. So therefore, the triangles would be an angle measured between 2 straight lines. And if you do it from 3 positions, you get 3 angles, all with straight lines. They're triangles with straight lines. It's the only type of triangle there is, have geometrically provable 180 degrees in them.
On a flat surface, they would.
Every time.
Not on a spherical surface. They never will. Ever. Anytime.
See, why is Blue Marble talking about on a ball again? Is that even part of the argument, or does he like just saying it?
Maybe he likes, because it has nothing to do with the horizontal plane.
Yeah.
On real globe, or even maybe on dogmatic globe.
Well, it's got nothing to do with the question that Doofus has answered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Asked.
Absolutely.
So Blue Marble is just being attempted sophistry, right? But who's he fooling? He's fooling himself and all of these guys. Nobody's pointing out to Blue and saying, Blue, we're not talking about on a ball. You just have to let him keep going.
The only thing I would
they don't measure spherical triangles, do they?
I thought if Idoma was saying something, Bev, and you interrupted him.
Okay, sorry.
No. Well, I agree with Blue, but again, over a short distance, yeah, you could have a triangle on the surface of the Earth, and they would add up to 180 degrees, because you would not be able to measure the difference. I mean, it would be so small.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree with the way you're saying that. It is absolutely not possible to have a triangle of any size on the surface of a sphere of any size and have the angles add up to exactly 180 degrees. But over short distances, you're perfectly correct. The difference in the spherical excess is going to be so small you're not going to be able to measure it.
Okay, have you ever measured a triangle? Either of you two ever measured a triangle with more than 180 degrees?
Every time you measure one on the surface of the sphere.
No.
Every time. Every time.
No. I asked if any of them have ever measured a triangle with more than 180 degrees, and Blue Marble said every time. Do you want to hear that again? Just so.
It's going to be so small you're not going to be able to measure it.
Okay, have you ever measured a triangle? Either of you two ever measured a triangle with more than 180 degrees?
Every time you measure one on the surface of the sphere.
No.
Every time. Every time.
No, triangles only have 180 degrees. Like I said, have you ever measured a triangle?
Do it on Google Earth. You can do it on Google Earth. Right, we can do it right now. Start at the North Pole. Follow them.
Blue Marble wants to do geometry on Google Earth with triangles. What's up with him? He's obsessed. I know he's blue marble science, right? But does everybody have to be this obsessed? Where you can't even talk about triangles and proof within mathematics without somebody wanting to bloody bring up Google Earth to measure triangles. I mean, come on. Crazy.
Follow a meridian down to the equator, turn 90 degrees, go some distance, turn 90 degrees again, and you'll end up back at the North Pole, and the angles will add up to a lot more than 180 degrees.
Blue, you've got to have 2 straight lines in order to measure an angle.
No, you don't.
Yeah, yes, you do. What's up with these people, right? Is everybody aware of how ridiculous a conversation ends up in this arena? There are people out there that just talk shit. Blue Marble's one of them.
Yes, they are measuring angles with curved lines, and they draw triangles or whatever it is on the sphere. So nothing to do with geometry.
180 degrees.
Blue, you've got to have 2 straight lines in order to measure an angle.
No, you don't.
Yeah, yes, you do.
That's just silly.
How straight does...
That's just silly. You needing 2 straight lines to measure an angle. Blue Marble thinks is silly. Sorry, Blue Marble Science, the YouTube character. I don't want to pretend that a model is talking about anything. It's not. This is an actual person, a character, a YouTube character, but he is a real person.
Does that straight line have to be?
An angle is just the division of a circle into 360, right? It's just a portion of a circle, right? Now, those portions are divided by what we call the radius of that circle. They're straight lines. And the angle is the portion from one radius to the other radius. They're 2 straight lines. A radius of a circle is almost definitely, provably, a straight line. Blue.
Hey, can I give a shout out to Larry Scott for a super chat? At 4:12, I posted Ordnance Survey UK, Web's expert in the Daily Boom. Could that be discussed at 4:12? It is a picture, Larry. Let me see if it's an actual link. I mean, it's a picture of like the cover, but there's no link on it.
Just above that paragraph, there's a couple of paragraphs where the Ordnance Survey, Bev's favorite.
There you go. Yeah, it's up.
Yeah.
If we could read that out loud, it would just be thrilling.
This is great.
I posted that first couple of sentences in our internal chat because that's spot on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna read the first sentence of the way to here. Of course, myth number 2, a horizontal plane is a level surface. Of course, it cannot be because the Earth is round. Any gravitationally level, of course, they're making noise now. Any gravitationally level surface, such as the surface of the wine in your glass or the surface of the sea average over time, must curve as the Earth curves, so it cannot be flat. That is, it cannot be a geometrical plane. Unquote.
So saith the Ordnance Survey UK. So if you're going to quote Ordnance Survey UK, you have to adopt their entire...
Interesting choice in a few words in there, though, right?
No, that's a cut and paste.
It says cannot. Yeah, I know. I've read it, and I've tried to get in touch with them to have a word with them. Strangely enough, nobody wants to have a talk. I'll get round to it. I'll get round to it in time. But yeah, there's a few strange words in there. Yeah.
And also
Must.
in Ordnance Survey UK, they describe the ellipsoid to which all their maps are made with their equatorial and polar radii and the flattening factors, so that you can get to their Mercator projection and the scales appropriate for the distances from the central meridian. Yeah, it's all right there on how they use the sphere when they map the UK.
Yep.
Before, hold on, guys. Bev, only fair for him to address that. But first, really quick, in between, Gently's channel with a £2 super chat. What's a horn angle, Bev?
Don't know.
Thank you, Gently's. Appreciate that. We go back to the screen.
Don't know. Do you want to tell us gently? Give it.
I don't know.
Maybe super chat some money in. Maybe £5 next time, eh? Jose? Cheers, gently.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I guess hold on, hit me up with something on PayPal. I'm gonna look it up.
Remember when Jose used to make money? He used to make good money out of this.
And it is, yes, big PayPal hit by, hold on, $40. Holy hell, hold on. Thank you, brother. That helps a lot, man. That's almost my whole internet bill for this next month, man. And with a few PayPal earliers, we all said we got internet for one more month. The show must go on. Thank you. Hold on. And there's a comment, a note in it, and I read it. For fuck's sake, babe, it's Friday and supposed to be a fun day. No room for educational stuff today. Oh, wait, carry on. Please, sorry for the interruption. Don't you dare buy WD-40, Jose. Yo, right on. Hold on. Thank you very much for your support, brother. I really appreciate that, man. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll mute myself.
I would imagine there's a lot of people learning a lot of things today. No? You don't think so?
Well, we just learned that the UK Ordnance Survey is absolutely in the spherical trig, spherical latitude and longitude, Mercator projections, scale factors, or polar radii, equatorial radii, flattening factors, and the fact that a level surface, like a pond of water, is not a geometrical plane. Yeah, we did learn that, didn't we, Bev?
Brilliant. So you've got a... So we learned that the pond of water is not a geometrical plane. Now, anybody's aware of what we were talking about earlier, that a geometrical plane exists in the realm of mathematical objects, which is a thought. So the surface of water is not living within the geometric thing. It's an actual thing. It doesn't elevate itself into a different place. So I don't know, like the use of words around this and how you label identity of things. It's very clever, and the wording, you've got to be very specific. And as we know, a lot of people play with words. There's sophistry involved in all of this, especially with Larry and a hump or a drop or both. I mean, like have you ever heard of the what we call the Kozlowski conundrum?
It's not a hump.
It's not a hump. It's just a drop then.
It's a curve.
Okay.
Because you're standing on
I just say I think I can prove a straight line.
Whippy fucking do.
Yeah.
The Earth is still a ball.
Like I say, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that level is horizontal. It is a known observable fact, isn't it?
And we have our known observation of the LIGO's vacuum tubes, which are built as a tangent at a point and are straight and are not a constant elevation.
That's Larry Scott just thinking that the LIGO tangent are at a point. You might have to have a word with FE Dogma. Remember that one, everyone. Larry Scott said that the LIGO arms are tangent at a point. Just a point. Not one at each end of the one arm, like FE Dogma set the conundrum for, which we will be going over that one again very soon.
Done.
Okay, Bev, if you build it, they will come. And Gently's channel came up and stepped up to the game with a £5 super chat.
Brilliant.
A horn angle, a horn angle is a non-rectilinear angle. Bev, only one straight line.
Okay.
Shout out to Gently channel. Have you heard that before? I haven't.
Well, has anyone ever heard of a non-rectilinear angle? I doubt it, because it doesn't fucking exist, does it? Just ridiculous. But hey, Gently super chatted £5, so hey, must be, right? I would imagine like a rectilinear angle, like I said before, is between two straight lines. So that's measurable in between two straight lines. I just assume that a non-rectilinear is a non-measurable angle. You know, it's just a... It says it only one straight line, see? If there's only one straight line, then what's the angle? Where do you measure the angle? It's just ridiculous to assume it's measurable.
You're saying that the angle doesn't exist, period.
No, I'm just saying you can't measure it, can you? You need two straight lines in order to measure an angle.
Hold on, dude. If either the angle exists or it doesn't, which is it?
What is an angle?
Man, are you listening?
No, I'm asking you. Like, what you want to do? I'm defining an angle as being measured between two straight lines.
Yeah, a rectilinear angle.
Yes.
A non-rectilinear angle obviously is not the case. So are you saying that non-rectilinear angles don't exist?
They wouldn't be measurable, is what I'm saying.
Dude, if they exist, then they're measurable. Do you agree with this?
Right, here we go. Sophistry. They're not measurable. He says if they exist, then they are measurable. And it's like there's not two straight lines, so it can't be measurable. Sophistry. Highest order. A load of useless people in this arena. You cannot have an honest discussion with people that lie. Because that's what this is. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? They're not measurable. You need a rectilinear angle in order to measure it. It's crazy.
Bev, you're not answering. You're not actually engaging in the conversation that I'm having with you.
Yeah, you're answering a different question, Bev.
Well, I'm speaking purely geometrically here, and saying.
I mean, did I say that you are avoiding to answer the question, Bev?
He is. So, do non-rectilinear angles exist? Yes or no? And if not, well, how do you know? And if so...
As a word, he's just wrote it down. Gently's just said a horn angle is a non-rectilinear angle.
Either... You saying words too. You know that, right? You're just saying words too.
Exactly.
So...
Right, so basically... Gently's wrote something down saying it's a non-rectilinear angle. I've told him that rectilinear is a measurable angle. So if it's non-measurable angle, it's not measurable. I don't consider that as an angle. Because it's not an angle. It would have many different angles wherever you decided to measure the angle from. That's the point of having two straight lines. The angle is always the same. These are not laid down rules within geometry. Geometry describes what would happen with straight lines. Sort of the other way round. It depends whether you're thinking mathematically about it or whether you're thinking that the maths tells you what to do. Difference between knowing maths and formulas and knowing the first principles to understand the geometry. There is a difference, I think. There's a difference within perception as well.
You're saying that rectilinear angles don't exist because they're words?
No. Gently has just wrote it down. Does Gently assume that they exist?
Hold on, man. I'm asking you. You're saying they're not measurable, but how do you know?
Because
either they
you
don't
need
exist or they...
two straight lines in order to measure an angle.
What kind of angle?
An angle. A rectilinear angle is an angle between two straight lines. Do you want me to get you the definition of it?
Watch. You're saying that
within mathematics.
Watch, pay attention. You're claiming that non-rectilinear angles don't exist.
No, you're asking me a stupid question.
No, it's a very on-point question that you're avoiding.
Are you talking geometrically?
One quick point I want to make. Big shout out to Flirtspective in the chat. He say, thanks, Web. And there's an observable fact. I am $5 Richard. With a $5 super chat by Dave Johnson, an observable fact is I am $5 Richard. Thank you. Flirtspective say Ruhip
used to make a lot of money,
ago,
didn't he?
And it's on your channel too. Damn.
Oh, you mean when Ruhif said he wanted to record me to get me to say something that I would never say anyway? Remember when we were talking about Go Fraud Me's, and I in particular was talking about a drone Go Fraud Me. Ruhif said that it was a fraud if you set out to do a GoFundMe with an initial statement that didn't
that's
work.
Not interesting. That is not interesting. That has nothing
It's
to do
very
with
interesting. Isn't that weird the way Jose wants to shut that down as soon as we start talking about Go Fraud Me's and stuff? Let's not talk about that specifically because we were talking about one with a drone from a guy called a Flirtspective that was in the chat.
Babe,
yeah,
listen to me.
Ranty
Babe,
says that I got destroyed by Ruhif, but
that is not interesting. That is something that is drama and personal related. We're talking here today about.
Okay. Go back to the Discord. Oh, there's hardly anyone left here. Bad news, that, isn't it? So Blue Marble's made a few claims in there. I don't know whether any of his, what do you call them, groupies, homies, whether anybody's ever going to be able to support Blue Marble in his claims there. Jesse Kozlowski's made a load of claims. Like I say, that's why I'm here. People have made ridiculous claims. I'm just trying to follow them through to find out how they can support those set claims. I've got my support for my claims. Level is horizontal. Straight line lies within a plane. Never leaving that plane. Vertical and horizontal are perpendicular, and you can establish a horizontal plane in reality. All of these things go to prove the real globe. We all live in reality. And obviously, the globe is reality. So therefore, anything that happens in reality that you can prove goes to prove globe, the globe reality, the real globe. I'm not a flat earther. I do live in reality. And I've been in an arena watching two groups of people argue about nothing. Circular arguments. They're not even arguments. Nobody can state an argument that's come from either side. Only the arguments from reality. Logical arguments that we've made. Free for all Friday tomorrow. You get a Buster ready. So if anybody wants to come in and have a chat about anything that we've done all week, we have done a fair bit of philosophy. Mondays, Tuesdays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I'm going to be putting those out. I think I put one out today. If you do want to come and get involved, Discord's the best place for it to be. I don't know. I think the Discord, those discussions are better. I'm not too keen going over these videos, but I have to finish off what I'm doing. I'm going to be making these videos into shorter bits to express the arguments. But as long as everybody knows what the arguments are and what Blue Marbles stated and what claims these people have made, and you can then see where I've been going and what I'm doing and where I'm going to. I've got a lot of content that needs to be put into shorter videos to express the point that we've been talking about. The real globe. They're scared of it. These dogmatic globers. They're scared of the proofs of reality. Imagine living with a dogmatic globe and being frightened of reality, frightened of proofs within reality. That's the bit that I couldn't understand. I can't understand the flat earthers living with the contradictions, but I can't understand the globers being scared of reality. Obvious. Everybody knows it's globe, right? Reality is globe. Why be frightened of things that happen in reality? They've got a fear of it because, I don't know, it is globe. Got a fear of the globe, the real globe. Scary, scary, scary people. Let me get a Buster song ready. I don't know what's happened to all of these things. Okay, wisdom. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back tomorrow, Free for All Friday. Come and have your say. Come and have a laugh. Let's have a joke. Anything goes. It was Ladies' Day today, so we might have a go tomorrow. Let Emma and Constance have a go. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Just remember, there's no need to be scared of your globe. There's no need to be scared of reality, proofs with reality. Just jump on the real globe. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
It is probably the single most important mathematical idea of all. The notion of proof by circle and line or ruler and compass construction means that geometry can be known about in a way that is different from knowing about physical things, and so makes geometry epistemically differentiated. Furthermore, starting from circles and lines alone and constructing a relationship using circles and lines alone makes the conclusions certain in a way that nothing else was at the time. In geometric reasoning, the argument and the conclusions were made supremely clear and evident to the senses. Indeed, The concept of proof, a mechanism that gave a warrant for claiming geometry to be perfectly and absolutely true, made geometry the very paradigm of what we mean true and certain knowledge to be. In effect, in our understanding of nature, true means true like geometry is true.
Come go with me. Open your mind. Skeptical mind was all I ever knew. Finding the knowledge of the real world starts with the point of which has no parts. These are the axioms of life.
True.
And I take my chances with the old ways, finding the proofs in geometry. And I don't care what all the sophists say. I find the proofs in reality. They were right.
We call this
We know that they were right.
True. We call this proof. Like geometry is true.
Starting circles and lines alone, constructing the nature of what's known.
We call this
conclusions are clear and the evidence seen. This 3D space works perfectly, and I'll take my chances with the old ways, finding the proofs in geometry. And I don't care what all the sophists say. I'll find the proofs in reality.
Like geometry is true. Perfect. Absolutely.
And all around you is sinking sand. You'll have a place on which to stand. Foundations were already built for you.
Absolutely.
Open your mind, and I'll take my chances with the older ways, hearing the words of what the ancients said. They say my words sound like sorcery, but there's wisdom in all honesty. Come go with me. Open your mind. Come go with me. We'll find the truth.
True.